Hey everyone, welcome to this complete YouTube Automation Masterclass. If you've ever wanted to start a YouTube channel but didn't know where to begin, or you've already started but aren't getting the results you expected, then this course is for you. Over the next 1 to 2 hours, I'm going to guide you through the entire YouTube automation process, from absolute beginner to someone who understands how to build and grow a faceless YouTube channel step by step. This isn't one of those videos where I only give you motivation or a few random tips. Instead, I've organized everything into a complete roadmap that you can actually follow. We'll start with the basics by understanding what YouTube automation really is and how it works. Then we'll move into choosing a profitable niche, researching viral video ideas, understanding your audience, and creating a professional channel. After that, you'll learn how to write engaging scripts, record high-quality voiceovers, edit videos professionally, design thumbnails that get clicks, optimize your uploads with SEO, understand YouTube analytics, and improve every new video you publish. Every section of this masterclass builds on the previous one, so I highly recommend watching from beginning to end without skipping. Even if you already know some topics, you might discover small details that can completely change your workflow. One important thing I want to mention is that YouTube automation is not a magic shortcut to making money online. It still requires consistency, learning, and patience. There are no guaranteed results or overnight success. The goal of this course is to give you the knowledge, systems, and practical skills to build your channel the right way. Also, don't worry if you're using only a mobile phone or you have a limited budget. Throughout this masterclass, I'll focus on methods and workflows that beginners can actually follow. By the end of this course, you'll have a clear roadmap, from choosing your niche all the way to uploading videos and analyzing their performance. More importantly, you'll know why each step matters, not just how to do it. So grab a notebook if you can, take notes, and try to apply what you learn instead of just watching. With that said, let's begin our YouTube automation journey and build your channel one step at a time. Welcome to the YouTube Automation Masterclass. Before we talk about making money, growing channels, or getting views, we first need to understand what YouTube automation actually is. Many people think YouTube automation means uploading AI videos and getting rich overnight. That is completely wrong. YouTube automation simply means building a system. In a traditional YouTube channel, one person does everything. They research topics, write scripts, record voiceovers, edit videos, design thumbnails, upload videos, and manage the channel. In YouTube automation, these tasks are separated into different parts. For example, one person may research topics, another person writes scripts, another creates voiceovers, another edits videos. Even if you work alone, you can still automate some of these tasks using AI tools and workflows. The goal is not to avoid work. The goal is to create content more efficiently and consistently. Think of YouTube automation as building a machine. Once the machine is working properly, you can produce content faster and scale your channel much more easily. Now let's destroy some of the biggest myths on the internet. If you search for YouTube automation on YouTube, you will see many thumbnails showing luxury cars, thousands of dollars per day, and promises of easy money. The truth is very different. YouTube automation is not a magic trick. It is not a button that prints money. Many beginners start a channel today and expect to become monetized next week. When that doesn't happen, they quit. The reality is that YouTube rewards value. If your videos are useful, entertaining, or educational, people will watch them. If people watch them, YouTube will recommend them. And if YouTube recommends them, your channel grows. That process takes time. You still need skills. You need to understand content research. You need to understand thumbnails. You need to understand audience psychology. You need to understand why people click and why they keep watching. The biggest advantage of YouTube automation is not easy money. The biggest advantage is scalability. Instead of creating one video every week, you can eventually create many videos consistently using systems and processes. So throughout this course, don't think like a gambler looking for a shortcut. Think like a business owner building a long-term asset. Before we start learning the details, I want to show you the complete roadmap of this course. Many beginners fail because they focus on the wrong thing. They spend days searching for secret tricks, secret algorithms, or secret hacks. But successful channels follow a simple process. First, they choose a niche. Without a good niche, even great videos can struggle. After choosing a niche, they build a professional-looking channel. This helps create trust with viewers. Next comes content research. This is one of the most important skills on YouTube. Even amazing editing cannot save a bad topic. After finding good ideas, we write scripts designed to keep viewers watching. Then, we create voiceovers and edit videos in a way that maintains attention. After that, we design thumbnails and titles because no one can watch a video if they never click on it. Then we optimize everything for YouTube, search, and recommendations. Finally, we study analytics and improve our strategy based on data. This is the exact roadmap followed by many successful creators. The biggest mistake beginners make is skipping steps. For example, they spend hours editing, but only 5 minutes researching topics. Remember this, a great topic with average editing often performs better than an average topic with great editing. By the end of this course, you will understand every step of this roadmap and how they work together. Many people think YouTube is against small creators. Some people believe YouTube only promotes big channels. That is not true. The YouTube algorithm has one job. Its job is to keep viewers happy. Think about it from YouTube's perspective. When someone opens YouTube, YouTube wants that person to stay on the platform for as long as possible. Why? Because more viewing means more advertisements, and more advertisements mean more revenue. To achieve this goal, YouTube constantly tests videos with different audiences. If people click the video, that's a good sign. If people keep watching the video, that's an even better sign. If viewers enjoy the video and continue watching more content afterward, YouTube sees that as a success. Then the algorithm starts recommending that video to more people. This means YouTube doesn't care whether you are a beginner or an expert. It doesn't care if your channel has 10 subscribers or 1 million subscribers. What YouTube cares about is viewer satisfaction. If viewers are happy, your video gets promoted. If viewers leave quickly, your video gets pushed down. That is why understanding viewer psychology is far more important than searching for secret algorithm tricks. Throughout this course, we will focus on creating videos that people actually want to watch. To succeed with YouTube automation, you must understand how money flows inside YouTube. Most beginners think YouTube simply pays creators for uploading videos. That is not how it works. The real customer of YouTube is the advertiser. Companies want people to see their products and services, so they pay YouTube to show. When viewers watch videos and ads are displayed, YouTube earns revenue. A portion of that revenue is then shared with creators through the YouTube Partner Program. This means your job is not simply creating videos. Your job is attracting and holding attention. The more people watch your videos, the more opportunities YouTube has to show advertisements. That is why viewer satisfaction is so important. A video that keeps people watching for 10 minutes is usually more valuable than a video that people leave after 30 seconds. The creators who understand attention usually make more money than the creators who only focus on uploading more videos. Always remember, YouTube is in the attention business, and successful creators learn how to earn attention. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is thinking that AdSense is the only way to earn money on YouTube. In reality, successful creators usually have multiple income streams. The first income source is ad revenue. This is what most people know about. When ads appear on videos, creators receive a share of the advertising revenue. The second source is affiliate marketing. For example, if you recommend a product and someone purchases through your link, you earn a commission. The third source is sponsorships. As your channel grows, brands may pay you to mention or review their products. Many creators also sell their own digital products such as courses, templates, coaching, or services. Finally, some creators earn through memberships where loyal viewers pay monthly for exclusive content. The important lesson here is this: views alone do not create income. Trust creates income. If people trust your recommendations, products, and content, earning opportunities become much larger. That is why audience building is more important than chasing quick money. Now let's talk about 2 words that every YouTube creator should understand: CPM and RPM. These terms decide how much money a channel can potentially earn. CPM means cost per mille. Mille means 1,000. It represents how much advertisers are willing to pay for 1,000 ad impressions. RPM is different. RPM represents how much money the creator actually receives after YouTube takes its share. Many beginners focus only on views, but smart creators focus on RPM. For example, a finance channel may get fewer views than an entertainment channel, yet earn more money because advertisers pay more in that niche. This is why niche selection is extremely important. The country of your audience also matters. Advertisers in countries like the United States, Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom often spend more money than advertisers in many developing countries. As a result, channels targeting these audiences can sometimes earn significantly more revenue. One question I get all the time is, why do so many creators want a USA channel? The answer is simple. Money follows advertisers. Businesses in the United States spend billions of dollars on advertising every year. Because advertisers are willing to spend more money, CPM and RPM are often higher. Another reason is purchasing power. People in the USA generally spend more money online. This creates opportunities for affiliate marketing, sponsorships, and digital products. However, there is a huge misunderstanding. Many beginners think changing a channel location to the USA automatically creates a USA channel. That is completely wrong. A USA channel is not defined by its settings. A USA channel is defined by its audience. If people from the United States are watching your videos, then you have a USA audience. Your goal should never be to trick YouTube. Your goal should be to create content that genuinely attracts viewers from the audience you want to reach. Remember, targeting a valuable audience increases opportunity, but quality content is still the foundation. Before we talk about profitable niches, high CPM niches, or USA niches, we need to understand one simple word: niche. A niche is the main topic your channel focuses on. Think about your favorite YouTubers. When people hear their channel name, they immediately know what type of content they create. For example, if someone runs a football channel, viewers expect football content. If someone runs a technology channel, viewers expect technology videos. If someone runs a finance channel, viewers expect money-related content. This is the power of a niche. A niche helps YouTube understand your content. It also helps viewers understand your content. Imagine two channels. The first channel uploads football today, cooking tomorrow, gaming next week, and science videos after that. The second channel uploads only football content. Which channel do you think YouTube can understand more easily? The football channel. Which channel do you think football fans will subscribe to? The football channel. This is why niches matter so much. Many beginners are afraid of choosing a niche because they think they will miss opportunities. But the opposite is usually true. When you focus on one topic, you become easier to recommend. YouTube starts understanding who enjoys your videos. The algorithm becomes more confident about recommending your content. Viewers also become more loyal because they know what they will get when they subscribe. A common beginner mistake is trying to target everyone. But when you try to target everyone, you often end up targeting nobody. Successful channels usually start focused. After they build an audience, they can slowly expand into related topics. For example, a football channel might later cover transfers, football history, football news, and football tactics. But everything remains connected to the same audience. Think of a niche as your channel's identity. Without an identity, it becomes difficult for both viewers and YouTube to understand your content. As we move through this course, you will learn how to choose a niche that has audience demand, monetization potential, and long-term growth opportunities. Now, let's discuss something that many beginners completely underestimate. Niche selection can literally make or break a YouTube channel. In fact, niche selection is often more important than editing skills. Let me explain why. Imagine two creators. Both creators work equally hard. Both upload 50 videos. Both use good thumbnails. Both remain consistent. Yet one channel gets 10,000 views, while another gets 500,000 views. Why does this happen? The answer is often niche selection. Some niches naturally have larger audiences. Some niches have stronger advertiser demand. Some niches have endless content ideas. Other niches struggle in all three areas. For example, let's say one creator chooses a niche that only a few people are interested in. Even if the videos are excellent, growth may be limited because demand is low. Now imagine another creator chooses a niche where millions of people are actively searching for information every day. That creator starts with a much larger opportunity. Another factor is monetization. Not all niches earn the same amount of money. A finance video may earn significantly more revenue per 1,000 views than a meme video. This doesn't mean you should only chase money, but you should understand the business side of niche selection. The best niches usually combine three things: strong audience demand, reasonable competition, good monetization potential. Many beginners skip niche research and immediately start uploading. Then they wonder why growth is slow. The truth is that success becomes much easier when you start in the right direction. Think of it like building a house. Niche selection is the foundation. If the foundation is weak, everything built on top becomes more difficult. That is why we are spending so much time on this topic. Choosing the right niche can save you months or even years of frustration. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is choosing a niche that is too broad. At first, this sounds like a good idea. Many people think, if I make content for everyone, I will get more views. But YouTube usually works in the opposite way. Let's take gaming as an example. Gaming is a broad niche. Inside gaming, there are thousands of games. Minecraft, Free Fire, Roblox, PUBG, FIFA, and many more. Now imagine you start a gaming channel. On Monday, you upload Minecraft. On Wednesday, you upload Free Fire. On Friday, you upload FIFA. The problem is that these audiences are not always the same. A Minecraft fan may not care about FIFA. A FIFA fan may not care about Roblox. As a result, your audience becomes confused. YouTube also becomes confused. The algorithm starts asking, who should I recommend this channel to? And when YouTube is confused, growth becomes harder. Now let's compare this with a narrow niche. Imagine a channel focused only on Minecraft tutorials. Every video attracts similar viewers. Every subscriber is interested in the same topic. YouTube quickly understands the audience. The algorithm becomes more confident. Growth often becomes easier. Another reason narrow niches work better is authority. People trust specialists more than generalists. For example, if you want to learn Minecraft Redstone, would you rather watch a channel that uploads random gaming content or a channel that only teaches Minecraft? Most people choose the specialist. This doesn't mean broad niches are bad. Many huge channels operate in broad niches, but most of them started narrow. For example, a football transfer channel might later cover football tactics, football news, football history, and match analysis. The key lesson is simple. Do not start too broad. Start with a specific audience and a specific problem. Become known for one thing. Once you build trust and subscribers, expanding becomes much easier. Think of your niche like a tree. The trunk comes first. The branches come later. Now let's talk about another concept that can completely change how you think about YouTube. Evergreen content and trending content. Understanding the difference between these two can help you build a channel that survives for years instead of months. Let's start with evergreen content. Evergreen content is content that remains useful and relevant for a long time. Think about a video called How to Lose Weight, or How to Learn English, or How to Save Money. People search for these topics every day. Not just today, not just this month, every year. That is why these topics are called evergreen. Just like an evergreen tree stays green throughout the year, evergreen content continues attracting viewers for a long time. Now let's talk about trending content. Trending content is different. It becomes extremely popular for a short period. For example, a new football transfer, a new AI tool, a new game release, a celebrity controversy, a viral challenge. These topics can explode with views very quickly, but after a few days or weeks, interest usually drops. The problem is that many beginners become addicted to trends. They chase every trend they see. As a result, they build a channel with no long-term foundation. Then when the trend disappears, so do the views. This is why smart creators use a balanced strategy. Think of evergreen content as your house. Think of trending content as decorations. The house comes first. Without the house, decorations don't matter. For example, if you run a football channel, evergreen content, football tactics, football history, training tips, greatest players, trending content, transfer news, match reactions, breaking stories. The smartest channels combine both. Evergreen videos bring long-term traffic. Trending videos create spikes in growth. Together, they create a powerful system. If I were starting a brand new automation channel today, I would focus about 70% on evergreen content and 30% on trending content. That combination provides both stability and growth. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is focusing only on YouTube. They study the algorithm, they study editing, they study SEO, but they completely ignore the most important thing: people. At the end of the day, YouTube is a platform filled with human beings. Every view comes from a real person. Every subscriber is a real person. Every click is made by a real person. This means that if you understand people, you will naturally become better at YouTube. Let's think about this. Why does someone click a video? Is it because the algorithm forced them? No, they click because something inside the video triggered their interest. Maybe they want to make money. Maybe they want to solve a problem. Maybe they are curious. Maybe they are bored. Maybe they want entertainment. Every view starts with a human emotion. This is why audience psychology is so important. When you understand what your audience wants, content creation becomes much easier. For example, imagine you create football content. Many beginners think, I make football videos. But that is not enough. You need to understand what football fans actually care about. Do they want transfer news? Do they want match analysis? Do they want player stories? Do they want predictions? The deeper you understand your audience, the easier it becomes to create videos they want to watch. The same applies to every niche. Finance viewers want financial improvement. Fitness viewers want physical improvement. Students want better grades. Business viewers want growth. People are always trying to move from one situation to a better situation. Great content helps them make that journey. Another important lesson is this. People rarely care about information itself. They care about what that information can do for them. For example, a viewer does not want a video about weight loss because they love weight loss information. They want the result. They want confidence. They want health. They want improvement. The best creators understand these deeper motivations. That is why their videos connect with people. Throughout this course, stop thinking only about videos. Start thinking about viewers. When you understand viewers, almost everything else becomes easier. Now, let's talk about one of the most important skills in YouTube automation: getting the click. Many creators spend hours editing videos. Some spend days creating content. But none of that matters if people never click. Think about it. YouTube can only recommend a video. It cannot force someone to watch it. The viewer still makes the final decision. That decision often takes less than 1 second. In less than 1 second, the viewer sees your thumbnail and title and decides whether to click. So, what causes people to click? The first reason is curiosity. Humans naturally want answers. When we see a gap in our knowledge, our brain wants to fill that gap. For example, the mistake that destroyed my channel. Immediately, people become curious. What mistake? What happened? This curiosity encourages clicks. The second reason is relevance. People click videos that feel relevant to their current situation. A student is more likely to click a study video. A football fan is more likely to click football content. A business owner is more likely to click business content. The third reason is desire. People want better results, more money, better health, More success, better skills. Videos that promise improvement often attract attention. The fourth reason is fear. Fear is one of the strongest emotions in human psychology. For example, the SEO mistake killing your views. People click because they don't want to make that mistake. The fifth reason is surprise. Humans love unexpected information. Titles that challenge expectations often perform very well. However, there is an important warning. Never use clickbait. Many beginners think curiosity means lying. It does not. Curiosity means creating interest. Clickbait means making promises the video cannot deliver. When viewers feel tricked, retention drops. Trust drops. Growth slows down. The goal is not to trick viewers into clicking. The goal is to make genuinely interesting content and present it in the most attractive way possible. Remember, a great video without clicks cannot succeed. The click is the doorway. If people never enter the doorway, they never see the value inside. That is why thumbnails and titles are so important. No click means no views. No views means no growth. Most beginners believe that getting clicks is the hardest part of YouTube. In reality, getting the click is only the beginning. Imagine someone sees your thumbnail and title. They click. Congratulations! You won the first battle. But now the second battle begins. Can you keep them watching? This is where most creators fail. Think about your own experience on YouTube. How often do you click a video and leave within the first 10 seconds? Probably very often. Why? Because the introduction is boring. Maybe the creator talks too much before getting to the point. Maybe the video feels slow. Maybe the title promised something exciting, but the content starts with unnecessary information. When that happens, viewers leave. And when viewers leave, YouTube notices. The algorithm pays very close attention to watch time and audience retention. If people leave quickly, YouTube receives a signal that the content may not be satisfying viewers. As a result, recommendations decrease. Now let's talk about why viewers stay. The first reason is a strong hook. The first 10 to 30 seconds are extremely important. Viewers need a reason to continue watching. The second reason is curiosity. Great creators constantly create questions in the viewer's mind. The viewer wants answers, so they keep watching. The third reason is value. Every minute should give the viewer something useful, interesting, or entertaining. Another important factor is pacing. Modern viewers have short attention spans. Long pauses, repetitive explanations, and unnecessary details can hurt retention. This doesn't mean you should rush. It means every part of the video should have a purpose. One mistake many automation channels make is focusing only on producing videos. They forget that retention is what actually drives growth. A video with 100,000 clicks but terrible retention may fail. A video with fewer clicks but excellent retention can become a massive success. Remember this, YouTube does not just care about who clicks. YouTube cares about who stays. The goal is not simply to attract attention. The goal is to keep attention. That is where real growth happens. Now we are entering one of the most important sections of this entire course. How do you know if a niche is actually good? Many beginners choose niches based on emotions. They see a successful channel. They see a screenshot of earnings. They get excited and immediately start copying. This is a mistake. Instead of asking, is this niche making money for someone else? You should ask, is this niche right for me? The first characteristic of a good niche is audience demand. Are people actively interested in this topic? Are they searching for it? Are they watching videos about it? Without demand, growth becomes difficult no matter how good your videos are. The second characteristic is content opportunities. Can you create 100 videos in this niche? Can you create 500? Many beginners choose niches where they run out of ideas after 10 videos. That is a dangerous sign. The third characteristic is monetization. Some niches naturally attract advertisers and business opportunities. Others have very limited earning potential. Again, money should not be the only factor, but it should be considered. The fourth characteristic is longevity. Will this niche still exist next year? What about 5 years from now? Building a channel takes time. You want a niche that has long-term potential. The fifth characteristic is interest. Notice that I didn't say passion. Many people believe you must be passionate about a niche. I disagree, but you should at least be interested enough to spend hundreds of hours learning and creating content. A niche that completely bores you will be difficult to sustain. Now let's combine everything into a simple framework. Demand, content opportunities, monetization, longevity, interest. If a niche scores well in all 5 areas, it becomes a strong candidate. For example, personal finance often scores highly. Strong demand, thousands of content ideas, excellent monetization, long-term relevance, and plenty of learning opportunities. That is why it remains one of the most popular niches on YouTube. As we move forward, we will use this framework to evaluate different niche categories and identify opportunities. One of the most common questions beginners ask is, which niche makes the most money? To answer that question, we need to understand high CPM niches. CPM stands for cost per mille, which refers to the amount advertisers are willing to pay for 1,000 ad impressions. Some niches attract advertisers that sell expensive products and services. Because those companies can make a lot of money from each customer, they are willing to spend more on advertising. Let's look at an example. Imagine a company selling a $5 soft drink. Now imagine a company selling a $5,000 business software subscription. Which company can afford to spend more money on advertising? Usually the software company. This is why niches like business, software, finance, investing, insurance, and real estate often have higher CPMs. The customers in these industries are extremely valuable. For example, if a bank gains a new customer, that customer might stay for years. The bank could earn hundreds or even thousands of dollars from that relationship. As a result, banks are willing to spend significant amounts of money advertising. However, many beginners make a dangerous mistake. They see a screenshot showing a high RPM or CPM and immediately jump into that niche. But they know nothing about the audience, nothing about the content, nothing about the problems those viewers face. This often ends badly. Remember, a niche is not good just because it pays well. A niche is good when you can consistently create valuable content for its audience. Let's imagine 2 creators. The first creator enters the finance niche only because they heard it pays well. The second creator enters the football niche because they genuinely understand football and can create excellent content. Even if football has a lower CPM, the second creator may grow much faster because they understand the audience better. Never chase CPM alone. CPM is important, but audience understanding is even more important. The best situation is finding a niche that has both strong audience demand and good monetization opportunities. That is where long-term success becomes possible. Now let's discuss the other side of the equation. Low CPM niches. Many beginners hear the phrase, low CPM, and immediately think a niche is bad. That is not true. A lower CPM does not automatically mean lower earnings. Let's understand why. Some niches attract viewers who are mainly looking for entertainment. For example, memes, funny videos, entertainment clips, and some gaming content. These viewers are usually not actively looking to buy expensive products or services. Because of this, advertisers often pay less to reach them. As a result, CPM tends to be lower. However, these niches have their own advantages. The biggest advantage is audience size. Entertainment content often has massive audiences. Millions of people enjoy being entertained every day. This creates huge opportunities for views. And views matter. Let's compare 2 channels. Channel A is in a high CPM niche. It gets 50,000 views per month. Channel B is in a lower CPM niche. It gets 5 million views per month. Which channel earns more? The answer depends on the numbers. In many cases, the larger channel can still generate significant income despite having a lower CPM. This is why you should never evaluate a niche based only on CPM. You must look at the complete picture. Demand. audience size, competition, monetization, growth potential. Another important point is that many successful creators earn money from sources other than AdSense. They use sponsorships, affiliate marketing, merchandise, courses, memberships, digital products. These income streams can sometimes become larger than ad revenue itself. The lesson here is simple. Don't automatically reject a niche because someone says it has a low CPM. Instead, evaluate whether it has a strong audience and long-term opportunities. Remember, a channel with millions of views can still become an incredible business even if the CPM is not the highest. The goal is not to find the highest CPM. The goal is to build a successful channel. Now let's talk about one of the biggest reasons people become interested in YouTube automation: faceless channels. A faceless channel is exactly what it sounds like. A channel where you do not need to appear on camera. Many beginners love this idea because they are shy, don't have professional equipment, or simply prefer privacy. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with that. Some of the biggest YouTube channels in the world rarely show a face. The important thing to understand is that faceless channels are not a loophole. They are simply a different style of content creation. Instead of building a brand around a person, you build a brand around content. Let's look at some examples. A football channel can use match footage, graphics, statistics, and voiceovers. A history channel can use images, animations, maps, and storytelling. A technology channel can use screen recordings, demonstrations, and tutorials. An education channel can use slides, diagrams, and explanations. Notice something important. All of these channels still provide value. That is the secret. Many beginners think faceless means lazy. They think they can throw together random clips, add an AI voice, and start earning money. That mindset usually leads to failure. The audience does not care whether your face is visible. The audience cares whether the content is useful, entertaining, or interesting. Another huge advantage of faceless channels is scalability. Imagine you run a personal vlog. Every video depends on you. You must record yourself. You must appear on camera. You are the product. Now compare that to a faceless educational channel. Research can be delegated. Scripts can be delegated. Voiceovers can be delegated. Editing can be delegated. This makes scaling much easier. That is why faceless niches are so popular in the automation world. However, don't choose a faceless niche simply because it is faceless. Choose a niche because there is audience demand, content opportunities, and long-term potential. The best faceless channels combine great systems with great content. Remember, people do not subscribe because you hide your face. People subscribe because you solve a problem, answer a question, or provide entertainment. One question I receive very often is, what niche should I start with as a beginner? This is a great question because your first niche does not need to be perfect. It simply needs to help you learn. Many beginners spend months searching for the perfect niche. They watch hundreds of videos, they compare CPM numbers, they overthink everything, and during all that time, they never actually start. That is a mistake. Your first channel is not only about making money. It is also about gaining experience. You need to learn content research. You need to learn script writing. You need to learn thumbnails. You need to learn audience psychology. The faster you gain these skills, the faster you improve. That is why beginner-friendly niches are so valuable. For example, football is a great beginner niche. There are endless matches, players, transfers, stories, and debates. New content opportunities appear every week. Educational content is another excellent option. People constantly want to learn new things. Technology tutorials also work well because viewers actively search for solutions. AI tools are becoming increasingly popular because people want to save time and improve productivity. History and geography channels are also strong because they offer endless topics and long-term relevance. Now, let's talk about what beginners should avoid. Many new creators immediately jump into finance because they hear about high CPM, but finance often requires deeper knowledge and credibility. If you don't understand the subject, creating high-quality content becomes difficult. The same applies to any niche. Never choose a niche solely because someone says it is profitable. Choose a niche where you can consistently create useful content. Remember, YouTube is a skill. The first goal is learning the skill. Once you understand the process, moving into more competitive or profitable niches becomes much easier. Think of your first niche as a training ground. Focus on improvement. Focus on consistency. Focus on learning. Because the creator who learns the fastest usually wins in the long. Over the last few years, AI has become one of the fastest growing topics on the internet. Every week, new AI tools are launched, new features are released, new updates appear, and millions of people are trying to understand how these tools can help them. This creates a huge opportunity for content creators. Think about it. Whenever a new technology appears, people immediately start asking questions. How does it work? Is it worth using? Can it save time? Can it help me make money? Can it improve my work? Every one of these questions is a content opportunity. That is why AI niches have exploded in popularity. For example, channels that review AI tools often receive strong search traffic. People actively search for tutorials before using a new tool. This means you are not just competing for entertainment views. You are solving real problems. However, there is a challenge. AI changes very quickly. What works today may become outdated 6 months from now. This means creators in this niche must continue learning. They must stay updated. They must test new tools and new features. Many beginners make the mistake of simply reporting AI news. But news becomes old very quickly. Instead, focus on helping people achieve results. For example, don't just explain what ChatGPT is. Show viewers how to use it. Don't just review an AI video tool. Show viewers how to create better videos with it. When you focus on outcomes instead of information, your content becomes much more valuable. The AI niche is exciting because it combines strong audience demand, good monetization opportunities, and endless content ideas. But success still depends on one thing: helping people solve problems. If your content consistently helps viewers save time, make money, learn faster, or work more efficiently, you can build a very strong channel in this space. One of the smartest things you can do before creating content is study creators who are already succeeding. This process is called competitor analysis. Many beginners avoid this step because they think it means copying. But that is not true. Competitor analysis is about learning. Imagine you want to become a professional football player. Would you ignore successful football players? Of course not. You would study them. You would watch how they train. You would observe their techniques. You would learn from their experience. The same principle applies to YouTube. Successful channels leave clues. Their content shows what viewers enjoy. Their thumbnails show what attracts clicks. Their titles reveal what generates curiosity. Their upload schedules reveal how they maintain consistency. This information is incredibly valuable. When analyzing competitors, start with video topics. Which videos get the most views? Which topics appear repeatedly? If a creator keeps returning to a specific topic, there is usually a reason. It is probably working. Next, study thumbnails. What emotions do they create? What colors do they use? How much text appears? What grabs attention? Then analyze titles. Look for patterns. Do they use numbers? Questions? Curiosity? Urgency? Notice what appears consistently. After that, study audience feedback. Read comments. Viewers often tell you exactly what they want. They ask questions. They request future videos. They share frustrations. This feedback can become a goldmine of content ideas. Now let's discuss an important warning. Never copy videos directly. Never steal thumbnails. Never duplicate scripts. The goal is to understand principles, not duplicate content. For example, if a football channel gets millions of views discussing player transfers, the lesson is not to copy their exact video. The lesson is that viewers care about transfer-related content. You can then create your own unique version. The best creators learn from competitors, but still develop their own style. One of the biggest reasons YouTube channels fail is surprisingly simple. There is no audience demand. The creator spends hours researching, hours writing scripts, hours editing videos, but very few people are interested in the topic. As a result, the videos struggle. This is why audience demand is one of the most important concepts in YouTube automation. Let's define it clearly. Audience demand is simply the amount of interest people have in a topic. The higher the demand, the larger your potential audience. Now, here's a mistake many beginners make. They ask, "What content do I want to make?" Instead, they should ask, "What content do people want to watch?" Those are two very different questions. Successful creators learn to balance both. Let's imagine you create a video about a topic nobody is searching for. Nobody is discussing it. Nobody is interested in it. Even a perfectly edited video may struggle. Now imagine another topic. Thousands of people search for it every month. Viewers constantly ask questions about it. Competitors receive strong engagement when they cover it. Immediately, your chances of success become much higher. This is why demand research matters. Before creating content, always ask yourself, are people actively interested in this topic? One way to measure demand is YouTube search. If many videos appear and receive strong engagement, that's usually a positive sign. Another method is Google Trends. You can see whether interest is growing, stable, or declining. Competitor channels also provide valuable information. If several channels continue covering a topic, there is often a reason. The audience is responding positively. Remember, demand does not guarantee success. You still need good execution. However, a strong topic gives you a much better starting point. Think of audience demand like a wave. You can either swim against the wave or ride it. Smart creators learn to ride the wave. The goal is not simply creating videos. The goal is creating videos people already want. One of the most dangerous myths on YouTube is the idea that you must find a niche with no competition. Many beginners spend weeks searching for a secret niche where nobody is creating content. The problem is that such niches rarely exist, and even when they do exist, there is often a reason. Nobody wants to watch that content. Think about it. If millions of people are interested in football, finance, fitness, or technology, naturally many creators will enter those spaces. Competition is a sign of demand. Without demand, there would be no competition. This is why competition is not automatically bad. In fact, competition often proves that an audience exists. The real challenge is differentiation. How can you stand out? Let's compare two creators. The first creator starts a generic football channel. The second creator focuses specifically on football tactics and match analysis. Who has a better chance of building authority? Usually the more focused creator. This is where many opportunities exist. Instead of trying to invent a completely new niche, try finding a unique angle. For example, not AI for students, not fitness. Home fitness for teenagers, not football. Football transfer analysis. Notice what happens. The audience becomes more specific. Competition often decreases. Positioning becomes stronger. Another mistake beginners make is assuming that a niche is saturated simply because they see large creators. Large creators do not automatically make a niche impossible. In fact, their success often proves that people love the topic. The goal is not avoiding competition. The goal is providing value in a unique way. Think about restaurants. The existence of successful restaurants does not stop new restaurants from opening. The best restaurants succeed because they offer something different. YouTube works in a similar way. Viewers always want fresh perspectives, fresh explanations, fresh ideas, fresh personalities. Remember, competition means opportunity. Your job is not finding an empty market. Your job is becoming memorable. Now we are going to learn one of the most important skills in niche selection: validation. Many beginners choose a niche based on emotion. They see a video about a profitable niche. They get excited. They create a channel immediately. A few weeks later, they realize there aren't enough content ideas, or the audience is too small, or they simply lose interest. This is why professional creators validate a niche before investing months of effort. Think of it like starting a business. Would you open a restaurant without checking whether people actually want the food? Probably not. The same logic applies to YouTube. Before committing to a niche, you need evidence. The first thing we check is demand. Are people searching for this topic? Are videos in this niche getting views? Are viewers interested? Without demand, growth becomes very difficult. The second factor is content opportunities. Can you realistically create 100 videos? Not 10, not 20, 100. Because if you run out of ideas quickly, long-term growth becomes impossible. The third factor is competition. Notice that I didn't say avoid competition. Competition proves there is demand. What we're looking for is evidence that channels are still growing. If newer channels are succeeding, that's a positive sign. The fourth factor is monetization. Can this niche generate income through ads, sponsorships, affiliates, products, or services? Not every niche monetizes equally. The fifth factor is sustainability. Will people still care about this topic next year? Or is it based on a temporary trend? Now let's create a simple scoring system. Rate each category from 1 to 10. Demand, content opportunities, competition, monetization, sustainability. Add the scores together. A strong niche will usually perform well across most categories. Remember, you don't need a perfect niche. You need a niche with enough potential to justify your effort. Validation reduces risk. It helps you make smarter decisions. And smarter decisions often lead to faster growth. At this point, we've learned about demand, competition, monetization, sustainability, and content opportunities. Now comes the big question. How do you choose your final niche? The answer is simpler than most people think. You do not need the perfect niche. You need a good niche that you can commit to. Many beginners become trapped in what I call analysis paralysis. They spend months researching. They compare dozens of niches. They watch endless videos. They keep waiting for certainty. But certainty rarely exists. At some point, you must make a decision. The goal is not finding the perfect opportunity. The goal is finding a strong opportunity and taking action. When evaluating your final niche, ask yourself a few important questions. Is there audience demand? Can I consistently create content? Can I learn enough to provide value? Does this niche have long-term potential? Can I stay interested for hundreds of videos? These questions matter much more than chasing the highest CPM. Let's imagine two creators. The first chooses a finance niche because they heard it pays well. But they dislike the topic. They struggle with research. They struggle with content creation. Eventually, they quit. The second creator chooses a football niche. The CPM may be lower, but they understand the audience. They enjoy the topic. They can generate ideas easily. They stay consistent. Over time, they build a successful channel. Who wins? Usually the creator who stays in the game. Consistency beats excitement. This is one of the biggest lessons in YouTube automation. Most channels do not fail because the niche is terrible. Most channels fail because the creator quits. That is why your niche should support long-term consistency. Remember, a good niche with consistent execution will almost always outperform a perfect niche with inconsistent effort. Stop searching for perfection. Choose wisely. Start creating. Improve along the way, because action teaches more than endless research ever will. Most beginners get excited and immediately create a YouTube channel. Then they start asking questions. What niche should I choose? What videos should I make? What audience should I target? This is the wrong order. A channel should be created after you have a clear direction. Imagine building a house. Would you start building the roof before creating the foundation? Of course not. The same logic applies to YouTube. Before creating your channel, you should already know your niche. You should understand your target audience. You should know what type of videos you plan to upload. And ideally, you should already have your first 10 video ideas ready. Why? Because many creators lose motivation immediately after creating a channel. They realize they have no content plan. They spend days trying to think of ideas. Eventually, they stop uploading. A strong channel starts with clarity. When someone visits your channel, they should quickly understand, what is this channel about? Who is it for? Why should I subscribe? That is the purpose of branding. Your channel name, logo, banner, thumbnails, and content style should work together to create a clear identity. Another mistake beginners make is constantly changing direction. One week they upload football content, the next week they upload AI tutorials, then they switch to motivation videos. This confuses both viewers and the algorithm. Consistency creates trust. Trust creates growth. Your goal is not simply creating a YouTube account. Your goal is creating a brand. Even small channels should think like brands. When you approach YouTube with a business mindset instead of a hobby mindset, your decisions become much smarter. Before clicking the Create Channel button, make sure you know exactly what you are building, because a clear foundation makes every future step easier. Your channel name is often the first thing people notice about your brand. And while a channel name alone will not make you successful, it can influence how professional and memorable your channel appears. Many beginners spend too little time thinking about their name. Others spend too much time. The goal is balance. A good channel name should be easy to remember. Imagine someone watches one of your videos today. Will they remember your channel name tomorrow? If the answer is no, the name may be too complicated. It should also be easy to spell. If viewers cannot search for your channel easily, you are creating unnecessary friction. Another important factor is relevance. Your name should give some indication of what your content is about. For example, if you run a football channel, a name related to football can help viewers understand your niche immediately. However, be careful not to make the name too limiting. For example, Football Transfer Daily may become a problem if you later want to cover tactics or football history. Think long-term. Choose a name that allows future growth. Now let's talk about some common mistakes. One mistake is using random numbers. Names like ProGamer78291.TechGuy59 are difficult to remember. Another mistake is making names too long. The longer the name, the harder it becomes to recall. Another mistake is chasing trends. For example, naming a channel after a temporary trend may hurt you later when the trend disappears. The best names are usually simple, short, clear, professional. Think about many successful brands. Their names are often surprisingly simple. The goal is not creating the most creative name ever. The goal is creating a name that people can remember, because memorable brands grow faster than forgettable ones. When choosing your channel name, think like a business owner. Ask yourself, will this name still make sense 3 years from now? If the answer is yes, you're moving in the right direction. Most beginners think branding is only about a logo. In reality, branding is much bigger than that. Branding is the overall impression people have of your channel. When someone sees your thumbnail, watches your video, or visits your homepage, they start forming an opinion. That opinion becomes your brand. Think about famous companies. When you see their logo, colors, or products, you immediately recognize them. The same thing happens on YouTube. Successful channels create a recognizable identity. Now here's something important. You do not need a fancy logo. You do not need expensive graphics. You do not need a professional designer. What you need is consistency. For example, imagine a football channel. Every thumbnail uses similar styles. Every title follows a similar format. The content focuses on the same audience. Over time, viewers begin recognizing the channel instantly. That recognition is powerful. Why? Because familiarity creates trust. And trust increases clicks. Trust increases watch time. Trust increases subscriptions. Many beginners accidentally damage their brand. One thumbnail is dark. The next thumbnail is colorful. One video is serious. The next video is completely different. As a result, viewers struggle to understand what the channel represents. Consistency solves this problem. The goal is not becoming famous overnight. The goal is becoming recognizable. When people recognize your content immediately, you gain an advantage. Another important lesson is that branding should support your audience. A finance channel should feel different from a gaming channel. A football channel should feel different from a study channel. Your branding should match viewer expectations. As your channel grows, branding becomes even more valuable because people stop watching individual videos. They start following a trusted creator or trusted brand, and that is exactly what you want to build. A channel that viewers remember. Congratulations! You have now completed one of the most important sections of this entire masterclass, niche selection. Many creators skip this step. They rush into uploading videos. Then they wonder why growth is slow. The truth is that niche selection influences almost everything that comes later. It affects your audience. It affects your content ideas. It affects your monetization. It affects your long-term growth. That is why we spend so much time learning these concepts. Let's quickly review what we've covered. First, we learned what a niche actually is. A niche is simply the specific topic your channel focuses on. Then we discussed broad and narrow niches. We learned that starting narrow often helps YouTube understand your audience more clearly. After that, we explored evergreen and trending content. Evergreen content creates long-term stability. Trending content creates growth opportunities. The smartest creators usually use both. Next, we studied audience psychology. This is where many creators gain a huge advantage. Because successful YouTube channels are built around people, not algorithms. When you understand viewers, content creation becomes much easier. Then we explored audience demand. Remember this lesson carefully. No demand means no audience, and no audience means no growth. We also learned competitor analysis. Successful channels leave clues. By studying them intelligently, we can learn faster and avoid common mistakes. Then we built our niche validation framework. Instead of guessing, we learned how to evaluate opportunities logically. Finally, we learned how to choose a niche based on long-term potential rather than short-term excitement. Now I want you to pause and ask yourself a few questions. Who is my audience? What problems am I solving? Can I realistically create hundreds of videos in this niche? Is there demand? Can I remain consistent? If you can answer these questions confidently, you are ready for the next stage. And that stage is channel setup. In the next module, we will transform your niche idea into a professional YouTube channel. We will cover channel creation, branding, banners, logos, optimization, and everything needed to build a strong foundation. Remember, a strong channel starts with a strong niche. And now you have that foundation. Let's move forward. Now we are finally entering the practical part of this masterclass. Until now, we have focused on foundations, niches, audience psychology, demand, and branding. Now it's time to actually build your channel. Many beginners think creating a YouTube channel takes only a few minutes. Technically, that's true, but creating a successful channel requires much more thought. Let's start with the Google account. Your YouTube channel will be connected to a Google account. For professional projects, I usually recommend using a dedicated account. This keeps your channel organized and separate from your personal activities. Once you log into YouTube, you can create a channel from your profile menu. The technical process is very simple. However, what matters is what happens next. The moment your channel is created, you are building a brand. This is why your channel name should already be decided before this step. Avoid changing names repeatedly. Frequent changes can create confusion and weaken your branding. Next comes your visual identity. Upload your logo. Upload your banner. Write a professional description. Many beginners skip these steps because they think nobody will notice. But viewers notice more than you think. Imagine finding two new channels. One looks professional, the other looks unfinished. Which one feels more trustworthy? Usually the professional one. This is why presentation matters. After setup, verification becomes extremely important. Verification unlocks important features such as custom thumbnails. And as we will learn later, thumbnails play a massive role in growth. Think of channel creation like opening a new store. The doors may be open, but before customers arrive, you want everything prepared. You want the branding ready. You want the shelves organized. You want a clear identity. Your YouTube channel deserves the same level of preparation. The creators who treat their channels seriously from the beginning often make better decisions later. Remember, creating a channel is easy. Building a professional channel is a process, and that process starts right here. Now let's go deeper into channel names. Earlier, we discussed the basics, but because your channel name is such an important part of branding, it deserves a dedicated lesson. A channel name is not just a label, it is an asset. The longer your channel grows, the more valuable that name becomes. Think about famous YouTube channels. Many of their names are surprisingly simple. They're easy to remember, easy to spell, easy to search. That simplicity is not an accident. It is a strength. When choosing a name, ask yourself one important question. Can this name grow with my channel? Let's imagine a creator starts a football channel focused only on transfers. They choose the name Football Transfer Daily. At first, the name makes sense. But 1 year later, they want to create videos about tactics, football history, player stories, and match analysis. Now, the name feels limiting. The brand has become trapped. A better choice might be something broader like Football Insight. This still communicates the niche while allowing future growth. Another common mistake is using random numbers or complicated words. Names such as ProGamer 771382, Techmaster No, Naunde Owoho can look unprofessional and are difficult to remember. You want viewers to recall your channel easily, because if people remember your name, they are more likely to search for you again. Another mistake is chasing trends. A trend-based name may look smart today, but become outdated tomorrow. Remember, trends come and go. Brands stay. This is why long-term thinking matters. Try to imagine your channel 3 years from now. Imagine it has 100,000 subscribers. Would you still be proud of the name? Would it still fit your content? Would it still sound professional? If the answer is yes, you're probably making a good choice. Your name doesn't need to be perfect, but it should be strong enough to support future growth, because once your brand starts growing, changing your name becomes much more difficult. Choose carefully. Think long-term. Build something that can last. Let's talk about one of the first visual elements people notice when they visit your channel: your logo. Many beginners believe a logo isn't important because viewers mostly click on thumbnails. While thumbnails are extremely important, your logo still plays a major role in building a professional brand. Think about companies like Apple or Nike. When you see their logos, you instantly recognize them. That is exactly what you want for your channel. Your logo should help people remember your brand. Now here's an important point. Your logo is not supposed to explain everything about your channel. Its job is recognition. A common mistake beginners make is trying to put too much information into a tiny circle. They add long channel names, multiple icons, colorful backgrounds, and several fonts. When the logo becomes very small on YouTube, everything becomes unreadable. Instead, keep it simple. A simple logo is easier to recognize. It also looks more professional. Let's discuss the different types of logos. The first type is a letter logo. This uses 1 or 2 letters from your channel name. For example, if your channel is called Tech Studio, you could simply use TS in a clean design. The second type is a symbol logo. This uses an icon related to your niche. A football channel might use a football. A tech channel might use a chip or monitor. The third type is a mascot logo. This is popular for gaming or animation channels where a custom character becomes part of the brand. The fourth type is a minimal logo. Minimal logos are becoming more popular because they are clean, modern, and easy to recognize. Another mistake beginners make is copying famous logos. Not only can this create copyright issues, but it also prevents your brand from becoming unique. Your goal is not to look exactly like another creator. Your goal is to build your own identity. When designing your logo, always zoom out and see how it looks at a very small size. Remember, most viewers will only see a tiny version of it. If it still looks clear and recognizable, you've done a good job. Your logo should communicate professionalism, not complexity. Simple brands are memorable brands. When someone visits your YouTube channel, your banner is one of the first things they see. Think of it as the front sign of a business. If the sign is clear and professional, people immediately gain confidence. If it looks messy or confusing, it creates a poor first impression. Your banner has one main job: to tell visitors who you are and what your channel is about. That's it. It doesn't need to be overloaded with information. Many beginners try to include everything. They add social media links, motivational quotes, dozens of icons, large paragraphs, and flashy backgrounds. The result is a banner that looks crowded and difficult to read. Instead, focus on clarity. A professional banner usually includes your channel name, a short tagline, and a clean visual style. For example, if your channel teaches AI tools, your banner could say, "Learn AI, save time, grow faster." That short sentence immediately tells visitors what they can expect. Consistency is also very important. Your banner should use the same colors, fonts, and visual style as your thumbnails and logo. This creates a strong brand identity. Another important point is mobile optimization. A banner may look perfect on a computer, but become cropped on a phone. Since many YouTube users watch on mobile devices, always preview your banner on different screen sizes before publishing it. You should also avoid low-resolution images. A blurry banner makes your channel look unprofessional, even if your videos are excellent. Remember, branding is about trust. A clean and professional banner tells viewers that you care about quality. Finally, don't spend weeks trying to create the perfect banner. Your banner can always be improved later. The most important thing is that it clearly represents your channel and supports your overall brand. Simple, clean, professional. That's the goal. Now let's talk about one of the most ignored parts of a YouTube channel, the About section. Most beginners spend hours designing thumbnails and editing videos, but when it comes to the About section, they write something like, "Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe." Unfortunately, that tells the viewer almost nothing. Imagine visiting a website that has no explanation of what the company does. Would you trust it? Probably not. The same applies to YouTube. The About section is your opportunity to introduce your brand professionally. Think of it as your elevator pitch. In just a few sentences, a visitor should understand exactly what your channel offers. Let's break it down. The first sentence should explain your niche. For example, this channel helps beginners learn YouTube automation using AI tools, practical strategies, and real examples. Immediately, the visitor understands the purpose of the channel. The second part should explain who the content is for. Is it for beginners, students, business owners, content creators? Being specific makes your channel feel more personal. Next, briefly mention what viewers can expect. Will you upload tutorials, case studies, wireless tips, or masterclasses? This creates clear expectations. You may also mention your upload schedule if you plan to stay consistent. For example, new videos every Saturday. However, don't promise a schedule you cannot maintain. Finally, end with a reason to subscribe. Not, "Please subscribe." Instead, explain the benefit. For example, subscribe to learn practical strategies that help you grow faster on YouTube. Notice the difference. The focus is on value, not begging. Another important tip is to include important keywords naturally. If your niche is AI, mention AI. If it's football, mention football. If it's finance, mention finance. This helps YouTube understand your channel while keeping the description useful for viewers. Remember, every section of your channel should answer the same question. Why should someone choose you over thousands of other channels? If your About section answers that clearly, you've done an excellent job. One feature that many beginners either ignore or completely misunderstand is channel keywords. Some creators believe adding dozens of keywords will magically make their videos rank. Others think channel keywords don't matter at all. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Channel keywords are small signals that help YouTube understand the overall theme of your channel. Think of them as labels. If your channel teaches AI tools, your keywords might include artificial intelligence, AI tools, ChatGPT, automation, productivity. These keywords help describe your content. However, here's an important warning. Channel keywords are not a shortcut to success. Many beginners fill the keyword section with unrelated terms like Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, football, gaming, money, technology. Even though their channel is about AI, this is called keyword stuffing. It doesn't help your channel, and it can make your branding inconsistent. Instead, choose keywords that genuinely match your niche. If your entire channel is about football, then your keywords should all relate to football. If your channel teaches video editing, focus on editing-related keywords. Another mistake is adding too many keywords. More isn't always better. Quality is more important than quantity. Choose keywords that accurately represent your content. Now let's discuss something even more important. Many creators spend hours worrying about keywords while ignoring content quality. Remember this: a great video with excellent audience retention can outperform a poorly made video with perfect keywords. Keywords help YouTube understand your channel. Your content convinces YouTube to recommend it. Never confuse the two. As your channel grows, your videos, audience behavior, and watch history become much stronger signals than the keyword box. So yes, use channel keywords. So far, we've created our brand. We've chosen a niche. We've selected a professional channel name. We've designed a logo and banner. We've written a strong About section. Now it's time to organize the channel itself. Imagine entering a supermarket. One supermarket is clean. Everything is organized. Every product is easy to find. The second supermarket is messy. Products are everywhere. Nothing is organized. Which supermarket would you rather shop in? The first one. When someone visits your channel, they immediately start asking questions. What is this channel about? Can I trust this creator? What videos should I watch first? If your homepage answers these questions clearly, visitors are much more likely to subscribe. Let's look at the most important sections. The first is the featured video. If someone has never visited your channel before, this is your opportunity to introduce yourself. A short welcome video, or one of your best performing videos, works very well here. Next are playlists. Many beginners ignore playlists, but they're incredibly useful. Instead of showing random videos, playlists organize your content into categories. For example, if your channel is about YouTube automation, your playlists might include beginner guides, AI tools, thumbnail tutorials, YouTube, SEO, automation case studies. Now imagine a new visitor. Instead of watching one video and leaving, they discover an entire playlist. This increases watch time and improves the viewer experience. Another important section is your uploads. Your latest videos should reflect the quality and direction of your channel. As your channel grows, you can also feature popular uploads to build social proof. Always think from the viewer's perspective. If someone lands on your homepage today, will they immediately understand your value? Or will they feel confused? Remember, people often decide whether to subscribe within seconds. A clean homepage creates confidence. Confidence creates trust, and trust leads to subscribers. One habit that separates professional creators from beginners is system building. Professionals don't like repeating the same task over and over again. Instead, they build systems that save time. One of those systems on YouTube is called Upload Defaults. Imagine uploading 100 videos. Now imagine manually writing the same description every single time. adding the same disclaimer, selecting the same category, choosing the same language, changing the same comment settings. That would waste hours of your time. Upload defaults solve this problem. They allow you to save settings that YouTube automatically applies whenever you upload a new video. For example, you can create a professional description template. It might include a short introduction about your channel, your social media links, affiliate links if you use them, a business email, and a disclaimer if needed. Now, every upload starts with that template already in place. You simply make small adjustments for each video. This not only saves time, but also creates consistency across your entire channel. Another advantage is reducing mistakes. Many beginners accidentally forget important information. Maybe they forget to add a disclaimer. Maybe they choose the wrong category. Maybe they forget links. With upload defaults, these mistakes become much less common. As your channel grows, and you upload dozens or even hundreds of videos, small systems like this make a huge difference. Automation is not only about AI. Automation is also about removing unnecessary repetitive work. The less time you spend on repetitive tasks, the more time you can spend creating better content. Always ask yourself, can I create a system for this task? If the answer is yes, build the system once and benefit from it for years. That is how professional creators think. Before we move into content creation, we need to make sure our foundation is strong. A common mistake beginners make is starting too quickly. They create a channel, they upload a random video, then they try to fix everything later. A better approach is preparing your channel properly before publishing. Think about a real business. Before opening a shop, the owner prepares everything. The sign is ready. The products are organized. The system is created. YouTube should be treated the same way. Let's go through the complete optimization checklist. First is branding. Your channel name should be clear. Your logo should be recognizable. Your banner should explain your channel. Your About section should tell visitors why they should subscribe. These are the first things people notice. Next is technical setup. Verify your channel. Add relevant keywords. Set your upload defaults. Organize your homepage. These steps may seem small, but they create a professional experience. Now comes the most important part. Content preparation. Before uploading your first video, you should already understand your content style. Will you create tutorials, documentaries, short-form videos, long-form videos? You should also prepare your first few video ideas. Why? Because consistency becomes easier when you already know what you will create. Many creators lose momentum because they upload one video and then have no idea what to make next. Planning removes this problem. Another important step is creating a repeatable system. Decide your thumbnail style. Decide your script structure. Decide your editing approach. These systems make future production much faster. Remember, your first goal is not perfection. Your first goal is creating a strong foundation. A well-prepared channel gives you a huge advantage because you can focus your energy on what actually matters, creating valuable content. A channel is not built by one video. It is built by hundreds of small decisions done correctly. And this checklist ensures those decisions start in the right direction. Congratulations! You have completed the channel setup module. At this point, you should understand that creating a YouTube channel is much more than clicking a button and uploading videos. A successful channel is built intentionally. Let's review everything we have created. First, we established the importance of having a clear niche. Without a niche, your channel lacks direction. Then, we built the identity of the channel. We selected a name that can grow. We created a logo and banner that represent the brand. We optimized the About section so visitors understand the value of the channel. We organized the homepage to improve the viewer experience. We added important settings that create a professional workflow. Most importantly, we created a foundation for future growth. Now your channel is no longer just an empty account. It is becoming a digital asset. Think about that word carefully. An asset is something that can create value over time. A successful YouTube channel can bring audience, income, opportunities, brand recognition, business possibilities. But remember something important. The setup is only the beginning. A beautiful channel with no valuable content will not grow. The next step is content. And content is where the real game begins. In the next module, we will learn one of the most important skills in YouTube automation: finding video ideas that people actually want to watch. We will cover how to research competitors, how to find viral topics, how to discover audience problems, how to create endless content ideas. Because the biggest creators are not successful only because they edit well. They are successful because they know what content to create. A great video starts with a great idea. So, now that your foundation is ready, it's time to learn how to build the content machine. Welcome to what I personally believe is one of the most important modules in this entire masterclass: content research. If niche selection is the foundation of your YouTube business, then content research is the engine that keeps it running. Let me ask you a simple question. Imagine you spend 8 hours making a video. You write the script. You record the voiceover. You edit everything perfectly. You create an amazing thumbnail. You upload it. And after 1 month, the video gets only 57 views. Why does this happen? Most of the time, it isn't because the editing was bad. It isn't because your microphone was bad. It isn't because your thumbnail was terrible. The real problem often starts much earlier. The idea itself was weak. This is something that many beginners never realize. A great video cannot save a bad idea, but a great idea can often outperform an average edit. This is why professional creators spend so much time researching before they even start writing a script. They don't ask, "What do I want to upload today?" Instead, they ask, "What does my audience want to watch today?" That single mindset shift changes everything. Think about companies like Netflix. Do you think they randomly spend millions of dollars making a movie? No. They research audiences. They study trends. They analyze viewer behavior. Only then do they invest. As a YouTube creator, you should think the same way. Every video is an investment. It takes your time, your energy, your creativity. So before investing those resources, you need evidence that people are interested in the topic. Content research gives you that evidence. It helps you understand what viewers care about, what questions they ask, what problems they want solved, what stories they love. Another important benefit is consistency. Many creators quit because they run out of ideas. Professional creators rarely have this problem. Why? Because they have a research system. They don't wait for inspiration. They collect ideas every single day. They build an idea library. By the time they finish one video, they already know what the next 10 videos will be. That is the power of content research. From today onward, stop thinking like someone who uploads videos. Start thinking like someone who researches opportunities. Because every successful video starts long before the camera, microphone, or editing software. It starts with a powerful idea. Before you create any piece of content, you need to answer one very important question. Who are you creating it for? This sounds obvious, but many beginners never think deeply about it. They simply upload whatever comes to mind. The result is inconsistent content that doesn't connect with viewers. Let's imagine 2 creators. The first creator makes videos based only on what they personally find interesting. The second creator spends time understanding their audience. CC. They know what viewers struggle with. They know what questions people ask. They know what topics generate excitement. Which creator has a better chance of growing? Almost always, it's the second one. Because YouTube rewards viewer satisfaction, not creator satisfaction. Let's take a football channel as an example. If your audience loves transfer news, but you keep uploading old match highlights or unrelated topics, viewers may lose interest. Now imagine you notice that thousands of fans are discussing one transfer rumor. You create a well-researched, valuable video explaining the situation. Immediately, your content becomes more relevant. The same principle works in every niche. If your audience consists of students, they may want study tips, exam strategies, and productivity advice. If your audience consists of beginners learning AI, they probably want simple tutorials instead of advanced technical explanations. Your job is not to guess. Your job is to research. Read comments. Watch what people search for. Look at frequently asked questions. Pay attention to what your competitors' audiences are discussing. Every comment section is filled with valuable information if you know how to observe it. Another important lesson is empathy. Try to think like your viewer. Imagine you are sitting in their position. What problem are they trying to solve? What result do they want? How can your video help them achieve it? When you consistently answer those questions, your content becomes more useful. And useful content earns trust. Trust creates loyal viewers. Loyal viewers become subscribers. Subscribers become a community. That is how successful channels are built. Always remember, your audience is not just a number in YouTube analytics. They are real people with real questions, real goals, and real problems. The better you understand them, the better your content will become. Now we're going to learn one of the most exciting skills in YouTube automation: finding viral video ideas. Notice I said ideas, not videos. There's a huge difference. Many beginners see a viral video and immediately try to copy everything. The same title, the same thumbnail, even the same script. That approach rarely works in the long run. Instead, professional creators ask a different question. Why did this video become popular? That question changes everything. Let's imagine a football video titled, "Why Barcelona Signed This Unknown Player." Instead of copying that exact video, analyze why people clicked. Maybe they were curious. Maybe the player was unexpected. Maybe the title created a mystery. Now you understand the psychology behind the click. You can apply that same principle to a completely different topic. Why Real Madrid rejected this superstar? Different content, same curiosity. This is called learning from patterns, not copying content. Now let's discuss where to find these ideas. The first place is YouTube itself. Search your niche and look at the most viewed and recently successful videos. Next, study competitor channels. Notice which topics appear again and again. If several successful creators cover the same subject, there's probably audience demand. Another goldmine is the comment section. People constantly ask questions like, "Can you make a video about this?" Or "Explain this topic." Those comments are free content ideas. Google Trends is another excellent tool. It helps you see whether interest in a topic is increasing or decreasing. Finally, don't ignore communities like Reddit, Quora, Discord, or Facebook groups. These places reveal what real people are discussing every day. The biggest lesson is this: don't chase viral videos. Understand viral psychology, because trends disappear, but the ability to recognize opportunities will help you for years. Many people think competitor research is about spying. It's not. It's about learning. Imagine you're opening a restaurant. Wouldn't you visit successful restaurants first? You would look at their menu, their prices, their customer service, their presentation. Not to copy them exactly, but to understand why customers love them. The same principle applies to YouTube. Every successful channel leaves clues. Your job is to discover those clues. Let's begin with video topics. Open a successful channel in your niche and sort their videos by popularity. Which topics have millions of views? Which ideas appear repeatedly? If the creator keeps making videos about a certain subject, it's often because viewers enjoy it. Next, analyze thumbnails. Don't just look at them. Study them. How much text do they use? What emotions do they create? What colors stand out? Where does your eye go first? Then move to titles. Notice how successful creators create curiosity. Do they ask questions? Do they use numbers? Do they promise a result? Every title is teaching you something about audience psychology. Now let's look at the comments. Comments are one of the most valuable research tools on YouTube. People tell creators exactly what they liked, what they didn't understand, and what they want next. That's free market research. Another thing professionals analyze is upload frequency. How often does the creator post? Once a week? Twice a week? Daily? Understanding their publishing rhythm helps you set realistic expectations. But remember one very important rule. Never compare your beginning to someone else's 10 years of experience. Research should inspire you, not discourage you. The goal isn't becoming another version of a successful creator. The goal is becoming a better version of yourself by learning from successful people. Every successful creator has already solved problems that you're about to face. Learn from their journey, apply the lessons, and build your own path. One of the easiest ways to find content ideas is by using YouTube itself. Most beginners ignore one of YouTube's most powerful features, the search bar. When someone types a question into YouTube, they're not scrolling randomly. They're actively looking for an answer. This is called search intent. And search intent is extremely valuable because the viewer already wants the information. Let's see how to use this. Suppose your niche is YouTube automation. Open YouTube and type YouTube automation. Don't press enter immediately. Look at the suggestions that appear. These suggestions are based on what real people search for. That means YouTube is literally showing you content ideas. Now type another keyword, for example, AI tools. Again, watch the suggestions. Again, repeat this process with different keywords related to your niche. Very quickly, you'll build a long list of video ideas. But don't stop there. Open the top performing videos. Study their titles. What words are repeated? What promise does the title make? Next, study the thumbnails. What grabs your attention first? Then check the upload date. If a recent video already has hundreds of thousands of views, that's a strong sign that people are interested in the topic right now. Finally, read the comments. You'll often find viewers asking follow-up questions. Each question can become a brand new video. This is one of the easiest ways to create an endless content pipeline. Always remember, YouTube is constantly telling you what people want to watch. One of the biggest differences between beginners and professionals is how they manage ideas. Beginners wait for inspiration. Professionals collect ideas every single day. Imagine you suddenly think of an amazing video idea while traveling or before going to sleep. You tell yourself, "I'll remember it tomorrow." The next morning, it's gone. That's why you should never trust your memory. Instead, build an idea library. Every time you discover an interesting topic, save it immediately. It doesn't matter if you're using Google Keep, Notion, Google Docs, Trello, or even a simple notebook. The tool isn't important. The habit is, your idea library should contain much more than titles. Save interesting news. Save YouTube comments. Save questions people ask. Save trending topics. Save thumbnail ideas. Save title ideas. Even if you don't use them today, you might use them 6 months later. Another useful technique is categorizing your ideas. For example, beginner videos, advanced tutorials, trending topics, evergreen content, case studies, myths, mistakes. Now, whenever you need to upload, you won't start from zero. You'll simply open your idea library and choose the best topic. Professional YouTubers often have dozens or even hundreds of ideas waiting. This removes stress. It also improves consistency because they never run out of content. Remember, ideas are valuable assets. Treat them like money. Don't leave them lying around. Store them safely. Review them regularly. Expand them over time. A creator with a strong idea library will always have an advantage over a creator who waits for motivation, because motivation comes and goes. Systems keep you moving. One of the biggest opportunities on YouTube is trending content, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. A trend is simply a topic that suddenly becomes popular. It could be a major football transfer, a brand new AI tool, a viral social media topic, or a new game update. When millions of people start searching for the same thing at the same time, YouTube notices. If you create a valuable video quickly, you have a chance to reach a much larger audience than usual. That's why many creators love trends. However, trends also have weaknesses. Most trends don't last very long. A football transfer might dominate the internet for 3 days. A new AI tool might be popular for 2 weeks. After that, audience interest often drops. If your entire channel depends on trends, your views may become unpredictable. This is why experienced creators usually combine trending content with evergreen content. Evergreen videos continue getting views for months or even years. Trending videos create short-term spikes. Together, they create a healthier channel. Another important lesson is speed. With trending topics, timing matters. If everyone has already uploaded and the trend is 2 weeks old, the opportunity may already be gone. But remember, never sacrifice quality just to upload faster. A useful video uploaded slightly later is often better than a rushed video full of mistakes. Always ask yourself, can I add something valuable to this trend? Can I explain it better? Can I provide a unique opinion? Can I solve a problem that others ignored? That's how you stand out. Don't chase every trend. Choose the ones that fit your audience and your niche, because the goal isn't just getting views today. The goal is building a channel that still grows next year. Trends are powerful, but strategy is even more powerful. Now let's talk about the opposite of trending content. Evergreen content. If trends are like fireworks, evergreen videos are like trees. Fireworks create excitement for a few moments. Trees continue growing for years. That's exactly how evergreen content works. These are videos that solve problems or answer questions that people continue searching for over time. For example, how to edit videos in CapCut, how to start a YouTube channel, best AI tools for beginners. Even if someone watches these videos next year, the information is still useful, with only minor updates if needed. This is why evergreen content is so valuable. Instead of getting all your views in 1 week, an evergreen video can continue attracting viewers month after month. Imagine creating a tutorial today. It gets 500 views this week, then another 500 next month, then another 500 the month after. After 1 year, that single video could have thousands of views without any additional work. That's the power of evergreen content. Another advantage is predictability. Since these topics are always relevant, your channel becomes more stable. You don't have to rely on breaking news or viral moments. However, evergreen doesn't mean boring. You can still make engaging, entertaining, and visually appealing evergreen videos. The goal is to answer timeless questions in the best possible way. One important tip is to update evergreen videos when necessary. If a tool changes or YouTube releases a major update, consider creating a newer version. This keeps your content fresh while still benefiting from long-term demand. The most successful channels usually build a library of evergreen videos. Over time, those videos become valuable digital assets that continue bringing views, subscribers, and income. One of the smartest strategies you can use on YouTube is called finding a content gap. This is a technique used by many successful creators because it allows you to stand out without inventing an entirely new topic. Let's understand what a content gap really means. Imagine thousands of people are asking the same question. There are already videos about it. But after watching those videos, people still don't understand the answer. They return to the comment section and write things like, "I'm still confused," or "This didn't solve my problem." That is a content gap. The topic already has demand. The audience already exists, but the quality of the available content is not good enough. This is your opportunity. Many beginners think success comes from finding topics that nobody has covered. In reality, success often comes from explaining existing topics better than everyone else. For example, imagine there's a tutorial called How to Start YouTube Automation. The video has millions of views, But the comments are full of people saying, "You skipped important steps. This is too advanced. Can you explain it for beginners?" Now you've discovered a content gap. Instead of making the same tutorial, you create YouTube Automation for Complete Beginners, Step by Step, 2026 Guide. Same overall topic, much better execution. Another way to discover content gaps is by reading Reddit discussions, Quora questions, Discord servers, and Facebook groups. Whenever people repeatedly ask the same question, pay attention. Those questions often become excellent video ideas. Your goal is not simply creating more content. Your goal is creating better content. The creator who solves problems more clearly usually wins. That's why content gaps are one of the biggest opportunities on YouTube. Don't ask, "What videos already exist?" Ask, "What is still missing?" That single question can completely change your channel. We've now learned many different ways to find video ideas. But here's something even more important. Professional creators don't randomly use these methods whenever they feel like it. They build a repeatable system. A system removes guesswork. It creates consistency. Let's imagine it's Monday morning. Instead of asking, "What should I upload this week?" you already know exactly what to do. First, you spend time searching for new topics in your niche. Next, you study competitor channels. Then, you read comments to discover audience questions. After that, you check current trends to see if anything matches your niche. Every interesting idea goes into your idea library. Now comes the important part. You don't immediately create the first idea you find. Instead, you evaluate it. Ask yourself, is there demand? Is the audience interested? Can I create a better version? Will this topic still matter in the future? Score each category from 1 to 10. When an idea receives a high score, it moves into production. This process dramatically improves your chances of creating successful videos. Another benefit is confidence. Many beginners constantly wonder if they're making the right video. Professionals trust their research because they've already validated the idea. Remember, YouTube success isn't about luck. It's about making good decisions consistently. And good decisions come from good systems. As your channel grows, your research workflow will become one of your greatest assets. You'll stop wasting time on weak ideas. You'll focus your energy on high-potential opportunities. That's how creators stay productive for years. Not because they always feel motivated, but because they have a system they can trust. Build your research system once, then let it guide every future upload. Now, we've reached one of the most important parts of YouTube automation: script writing. No matter how good your editing is, no matter how beautiful your thumbnail is, if your script is boring, confusing, or poorly structured, viewers will leave. And if viewers leave, YouTube receives a negative signal. This is why your script is the foundation of the video. Think of a script like the blueprint of a house. Before builders start construction, they first create a blueprint. Without it, the house would be disorganized. The same happens with videos. Without a script, creators often repeat the same points, forget important information, or jump randomly between topics. The viewer becomes confused, and confused viewers stop watching. A script solves this problem. It helps you organize your ideas before recording. You already know what you'll say. You already know which examples you'll use. You already know where B-roll or animations will appear. This makes editing much easier because you're following a clear plan. Another huge benefit is confidence. Many beginners feel nervous while recording. They pause often. They forget what they wanted to say. A script removes that pressure. You simply follow the plan. Now here's something very important. A script is not meant to sound like a school essay. It should sound like a conversation. Imagine you're teaching a friend. Use simple words, short sentences, natural examples. Avoid complicated language just to sound smart. The easier your script is to understand, the larger your audience becomes. Also remember that scripts are not only for voiceovers. Even creators who appear on camera often prepare scripts or detailed outlines. Because successful videos are rarely improvised, they're planned. From today onward, never think of scripting as extra work. Think of it as time saved. A good script reduces mistakes, improves editing, increases retention, and creates a much better viewing experience. Every great video begins with a great script. Now let's learn the structure that almost every successful YouTube video follows. Whether you're creating tutorials, documentaries, educational videos, or even entertainment content, this framework works incredibly well. The first part is the hook. The hook is the most important part of your entire video. Why? Because viewers decide very quickly whether they will continue watching. If your opening is boring, they leave. If your opening creates curiosity, they stay. A strong hook promises value without revealing everything immediately. For example, in this video, I'll show you the exact system I use to generate video ideas for an entire year in just one afternoon. Immediately, the viewer becomes curious. Notice that we didn't start with, "Hey guys, welcome back to another video." That type of introduction often wastes valuable time. Modern audiences want to know one thing: why should I keep watching? Answer that question immediately. After the hook comes the value section. This is where you fulfill the promise you made. Your explanation should be clear. Your example should be practical. Your pacing should remain interesting. Avoid unnecessary repetition. Each minute of your video should move the viewer forward. As you explain concepts, occasionally remind viewers of the benefit they're receiving. This reinforces why they should continue watching. Finally, we reach the ending. Many beginners simply say, "Thanks for watching. Bye." Professional creators use the ending strategically. First, briefly summarize the main lesson. Then tell viewers what action to take next. This could be subscribing, downloading a resource, or watching another related video. The goal is to keep the viewer inside your content ecosystem. Remember, every section of your video has a purpose. The hook earns attention. The main content earns trust. The ending encourages the next action. Master this simple structure, and your videos will immediately become more organized, more engaging, and easier to watch. Let's talk about the most important 30 seconds of your entire video. These first few moments often decide whether your video succeeds or fails. Imagine someone clicks on your video. YouTube is watching what happens next. Does the viewer continue watching? Or do they leave immediately? This is why your hook matters so much. A hook isn't just the first sentence, it's a promise. You're telling the viewer, "Stay with me and you'll receive something valuable." Let's look at 5 powerful hook styles. The first is the curiosity hook. Humans naturally want to fill information gaps. When you say, most creators make this mistake without realizing it. People become curious. They want to know what the mistake is. The second type is the problem hook. This immediately speaks to the viewer's pain. For example, if your videos aren't getting views, you're probably making this one mistake. If the viewer has that problem, they'll continue watching. The third type is the result hook. Here, you clearly explain what the viewer will achieve. For example, by the end of this video, you'll know how to create a month's worth of content in one afternoon. Now the viewer knows the reward. The fourth is the story hook. Stories naturally attract attention because humans are wired to listen to experiences. Instead of jumping straight into teaching, you begin with a personal or interesting story that leads into the lesson. Finally, there's the shocking fact hook. Statistics, surprising facts, or unexpected statements immediately grab attention. But make sure they're accurate and relevant. Never use clickbait that your video cannot deliver on. Another important tip: avoid spending the first 20 seconds introducing yourself. Most viewers don't know you yet. They clicked because of the topic, not because of your name. Earn their attention first, then they'll become interested in you. A strong hook doesn't trick the audience. It simply gives them a compelling reason to stay. Master this skill, and your audience retention will improve dramatically. Getting someone to click your video is only the beginning. The real challenge is keeping them watching. This is where audience retention comes in. Audience retention measures how much of your video people actually watch. Imagine two creators upload videos on the same topic. Both receive 10,000 clicks. The first video's viewers leave after 1 minute. The second video's viewers watch for 8 minutes. Which video do you think YouTube will recommend more? Usually the second one. Why? Because YouTube wants viewers to stay on the platform. Videos that hold attention help YouTube achieve that goal. Now let's talk about why viewers leave. The first reason is a slow introduction. If you spend too much time saying hello or talking about unrelated things, viewers lose interest. The second reason is repetition. If you're saying the same thing in different words, people feel like they're wasting time. Another reason is poor pacing. Every minute should introduce something new. New information, a new example, a new visual. Something that keeps the viewer engaged. Audio quality also matters. People can forgive average video quality, but they rarely tolerate poor audio. Another powerful technique is using pattern interrupts. A pattern interrupt is anything that refreshes the viewer's attention. It could be a new graphic, a zoom effect, a question, a surprising statistic, a change in music, or a quick animation. These small changes prevent the video from feeling repetitive. Most importantly, always deliver the promise you made in your hook. If your title promises a solution, give the solution. If your thumbnail creates curiosity, answer the curiosity. Trust is built when expectations are met. Remember, a click gets you one chance. Retention determines whether YouTube gives you thousands more. That's why successful creators focus just as much on keeping attention as they do on attracting it. One of the biggest differences between average creators and great creators is storytelling. Many beginners think storytelling is only useful for movies or documentaries. That's not true. Every niche can use storytelling. Whether you teach YouTube automation, AI tools, football, finance, gaming, or education, stories make your content easier to understand and much more enjoyable to watch. Think about your favorite teacher. Chances are, they didn't only explain facts. They used examples and stories. Why? Because our brains naturally remember stories better than isolated information. Let's compare two introductions. The first says, "Today, I'll teach you 5 thumbnail tips." It's clear, but not very engaging. Now imagine this. When I uploaded my first 20 videos, almost nobody clicked them. Then I changed one thing about my thumbnails, and everything started improving. Which version makes you curious? The second one. Because it creates a journey. The viewer wants to know what changed. That's storytelling. A simple story usually has 3 parts. First, introduce the problem. Second, explain the struggle or process. Finally, reveal the solution and the lesson. This structure keeps viewers emotionally invested because they want to see how the story ends. Another benefit of storytelling is that it makes complex ideas feel simple. Viewers, you guide them through an experience. Even when teaching tutorials, you can say, "I made this mistake so you don't have to." That instantly makes your content feel more personal and relatable. But remember, don't force stories into every sentence. Use them when they naturally help explain an idea. The goal isn't to make your video dramatic. The goal is to make it memorable. People may forget statistics, they may forget definitions, but they often remember a good story for years. If you want people to stay until the end of your videos, don't just teach, tell stories that make your lessons come alive. Have you ever started watching a video that felt interesting at first? But after a minute or two, it became boring, even though the information was good. That's usually because nothing changed. The visuals stayed the same. The pacing stayed the same. The voice sounded the same. Your brain loves novelty. Whenever something changes, your attention naturally resets. This is why pattern interrupts are so powerful. A pattern interrupt is simply a small change that wakes the viewer's attention back up. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you're making a faceless video, you can switch from screen recordings to graphics. You can zoom into important text. You can highlight keywords with arrows or circles. You can display statistics on screen. You can briefly show a relevant image. You can even pause for a second before revealing an important point. All of these are pattern interrupts. Another effective method is asking questions. For example, what do you think happens next? Or, what if I told you this strategy actually hurts your channel? Questions make viewers think instead of passively watching. Music can also be used carefully. Changing the background music during different sections can refresh the mood of the video. However, don't overuse pattern interrupts. If something changes every single second, your video becomes distracting. The goal is balance. Most professional editors introduce some kind of visual or audio change every 5 to 15 seconds. This keeps the video feeling alive without overwhelming the viewer. Remember, attention is earned continuously. Getting the click isn't enough. You need to keep giving viewers new reasons to stay. Pattern interrupts help you do exactly that. One of the easiest ways to improve your videos is to make your script sound human. Many beginners unknowingly write scripts the same way they write school assignments. They use long sentences, complicated words, and formal language that nobody actually speaks. The result? The video feels robotic. Imagine you're explaining something to your best friend. Would you say, "Today, we shall comprehensively analyze the methodologies of YouTube content optimization"? Probably not. You'd simply say, "Today, I'll show you how to optimize your YouTube channel step by step." That's the difference. The second version feels natural. Always imagine you're talking to one person, not a crowd. This makes your script more personal and engaging. Another tip is to keep your sentences short. Long paragraphs are difficult to follow, especially in videos. Short sentences create better pacing. Questions are also powerful. For example, have you ever wondered why some videos go viral while others don't? Questions make viewers mentally participate instead of passively listening. Examples are equally important. Whenever you explain an idea, follow it with a simple example. People understand examples much faster than abstract explanations. Don't be afraid to show a little personality either. Humor, excitement, curiosity, or personal experiences can make your videos more memorable. Finally, here's a professional trick. Always read your script out loud before recording. If you struggle to say a sentence naturally, your viewers will probably struggle to listen to it. Rewrite it until it sounds like a real conversation. Remember, people subscribe to creators who feel authentic. Your goal isn't to sound like a textbook. Your goal is to sound like a helpful human being. Many beginners think that once they've finished writing a script, they're ready to record. Professional creators know that's only the first draft. The real improvement happens during editing. Think of a movie. The first version of the script is rarely the final version. It gets revised multiple times. The same should happen with your YouTube scripts. Start by removing repetition. If you've explained the same idea twice, keep the stronger version. Next, simplify difficult sentences. Remember, viewers are listening, not reading. Simple language is easier to understand. Now go back to your hook. Does it immediately create curiosity? Does it clearly explain why the viewer should continue watching? If not, improve it before recording. Then, look for opportunities to add examples. Examples make abstract concepts much easier to understand. After that, remove unnecessary words. Every sentence should have a purpose. If a sentence doesn't educate, entertain, or move the story forward, consider deleting it. Another powerful habit is reading the script aloud from beginning to end. This helps you identify awkward wording, unnatural pauses, or confusing sections. Many creators are surprised by how different a script sounds when spoken compared to when it's read silently. Finally, ask yourself one simple question. If I found this video on YouTube, would I actually watch it until the end? Be honest, If the answer is no, keep improving. Remember, great scripts aren't created in one attempt. They are refined through editing. Writing creates the foundation. Editing creates excellence. The extra 20 or 30 minutes you spend improving your script can dramatically increase audience retention and make your final video feel much more professional. Now that you've written an excellent script, it's time to bring it to life with your voice. A great voiceover can make an average script feel exciting. On the other hand, a poor voiceover can make even a great script feel boring. The good news is that you don't need a deep voice or a radio announcer's voice to succeed on YouTube. You simply need a clear, natural, and confident voice. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is speaking too fast. They become nervous and rush through the script. The viewer struggles to understand, and retention drops. The opposite mistake is speaking too slowly. Long pauses and slow delivery can make the video feel boring. Try to speak at a comfortable conversational pace. Another common mistake is reading every sentence with the exact same tone. Real conversations have emotion. Sometimes you're excited. Sometimes you're surprised. Sometimes you're serious. Your voice should reflect the meaning of your words. A simple trick is to smile while recording. Even if viewers can't see you, they can often hear the difference in your voice. Don't forget to pause naturally. Small pauses give viewers time to process important information. They also make your speech sound much more natural. Before recording, drink some water and try to record in a quiet room. Background noise can distract viewers and reduce the overall quality of your video. Finally, always listen to your recording before editing. Ask yourself, is every word clear? Does it sound natural? Would I enjoy listening to this? Remember, confidence doesn't come overnight. It comes from repetition. The more videos you create, the more natural your voice will become. Don't wait until you sound perfect. Start now, improve with every upload, and let experience become your greatest teacher. Congratulations! You've completed one of the most important sections of this YouTube Automation Masterclass. Let's take a moment to review everything you've learned. You now know how to research content instead of guessing. You understand how to identify your audience and create videos that solve their problems. You've learned how to find viral ideas without copying other creators. You know how to analyze competitors and learn from their success. You understand how to write scripts that sound natural and keep viewers interested. You've learned how to create strong hooks that grab attention in the first few seconds. You know why audience retention matters and how storytelling and pattern interrupts help keep people watching. Finally, you've learned how to record voiceovers that sound clear, natural, and professional. If you apply these skills consistently, you'll already be ahead of most beginners on YouTube. But remember, a great script alone isn't enough. The next step is turning that script into a visually engaging video. That's where editing comes in. In the next module, we'll learn how professional creators edit videos that keep viewers watching from beginning to end. We'll cover pacing, B-roll, transitions, text animations, sound effects, background music, and much more. By the end of the next section, you'll know how to transform a simple script into a professional-looking YouTube video. Remember this throughout your journey. YouTube success isn't about one secret trick. It's about mastering one skill at a time and improving with every upload. Don't rush the process. Build your skills. Build your systems. Welcome to the Video Editing Masterclass. Many beginners believe editing is the most important part of YouTube. In reality, editing is incredibly important, but it isn't magic. Think about everything we've learned so far. First, we researched the right topic. Then, we understood the audience. Next, we wrote a strong script and recorded a clear voiceover. Editing comes after all of those steps. If your video idea is weak, editing can't save it. If your script is confusing, flashy transitions won't fix it. If your audio is difficult to understand, expensive effects won't keep viewers watching. Editing's job is to make already good content even better. Its purpose is to improve clarity, increase engagement, and guide the viewer through the story. Let's imagine you're teaching someone how to use an AI tool. Instead of only talking, you show the screen. You highlight important buttons. You zoom into key areas. You display helpful text. Suddenly, the lesson becomes much easier to follow. That's what good editing does. It removes confusion. Another mistake beginners make is adding too many effects. Every few seconds they use a new transition, a loud sound effect, or a flashy animation. Instead of making the video better, these effects distract the viewer. Professional editing is often simple. Every cut, every animation, every sound effect should have a purpose. Ask yourself, does this help the viewer understand the content? If the answer is yes, keep it. If the answer is no, remove it. Always remember, the viewer came for the information, not the effects. Your editing should support the message, not compete with it. As you continue through this module, you'll learn how professional creators edit videos that feel fast, clear, and enjoyable without overwhelming the audience. Great editing isn't about showing off your skills. It's about making learning effortless for the viewer. One of the most common questions beginners ask is, which editing software should I use? The truth is, there isn't one perfect answer. Many people spend weeks comparing editing apps instead of actually creating videos. Don't fall into that trap. The best editing software is the one you can use confidently and consistently. If you're editing on a phone, CapCut is one of the best choices for beginners. It has a simple interface, supports text animations, keyframes, auto captions, and many professional features. VN Editor is another excellent option if you prefer a cleaner editing experience. If you're using a computer, DaVinci Resolve is one of the most powerful free editors available. Many professional filmmakers use it because it includes editing, color correction, visual effects, and audio tools in one application. Adobe Premiere Pro is another industry standard editor used by many YouTubers and production companies. If you're a Mac user, Final Cut Pro is also an excellent choice because it's highly optimized for Apple devices. But here's the most important lesson. Your editing software will not make your video successful. A beginner using expensive software can still create boring videos. An experienced editor using a free app can create amazing content. The difference is skill, not software. So instead of constantly switching between different editors, choose one that fits your device and spend time mastering it. Learn keyboard shortcuts. Understand timelines. Practice cutting clips smoothly. Study text animations and transitions. The more familiar you become with one editor, the faster and better your workflow will be. Remember, creators grow by practicing, not by downloading another editing app. One habit separates professional editors from beginners before editing even begins: organization. Most beginners import everything into one folder and immediately start dragging clips onto the timeline. After 10 minutes, they can't find the right image. They lose important files. They waste time searching instead of editing. Professional editors avoid this problem by following a workflow. The first step is importing every file you'll need. That includes your voiceover, screen recordings, stock footage, images, background music, sound effects, and logos. Don't start editing until everything is ready. The second step is organizing your files. Create separate folders for each type of asset. When every file has its own place, you'll always know where to find it. Next comes the timeline. Most professional YouTubers begin with the voiceover because the voice tells the story. After placing the voiceover on the timeline, remove mistakes, long pauses, and unnecessary silence. Now the structure of your video is complete. Only then should you begin adding visuals. Match every important sentence with an image, screen recording, animation, or B-roll. After the visuals, add text to emphasize important points. Then include background music and sound effects. Finally, watch the entire video from beginning to end before exporting. This final review helps you catch mistakes that you may have missed while editing. Another important tip is saving your project frequently. Imagine spending 4 hours editing only for your app or computer to crash. One click on the Save button can protect hours of work. Editing becomes much easier when you follow the same workflow every single time. Eventually, it becomes a habit, and habits create speed. The faster your workflow becomes, the more time you'll have to improve your videos instead of searching for files. The timeline is the heart of every editing software. Whether you're using CapCut, VN Editor, DaVinci Resolve, or Premiere Pro, every professional video is built on a timeline. Think of the timeline like building a sandwich. Each layer has a purpose. At the bottom, you usually place your voiceover because it controls the pacing of the video. Next comes your main footage or screen recording. After that, you add B-roll to make your explanations more interesting. Then come text animations and graphics to highlight important information. Finally, you add background music and sound effects to improve the overall experience. One mistake beginners often make is editing everything at once. They add music before finishing the voiceover. They add animations before cutting unnecessary pauses. The project quickly becomes messy. Instead, edit in stages. Finish one layer before moving to the next. This makes the process much easier and reduces mistakes. Another important habit is keeping your timeline clean. Name your tracks if your software allows it. Delete unused clips. Remove duplicate files. A messy timeline makes editing slower and more frustrating. Professional editors don't just create beautiful videos, they also create organized projects. As your videos become longer and more complex, organization becomes even more important. Imagine editing a 1-hour masterclass with dozens of images, animations, and sound effects. Without a clean timeline, finding one clip could take several minutes. With a clean timeline, it takes seconds. Always remember, your timeline is your workspace. The cleaner your workspace is, the easier it becomes to create professional videos. One of the biggest differences between beginner videos and professional videos is the use of B-roll. B-roll is simply additional footage that appears while your voiceover continues. Imagine you're explaining how to use ChatGPT. Would you rather keep showing the same static background for 1 minute? Or would you show the ChatGPT website, demonstrate the prompts, zoom into important features, and highlight key buttons? The second option is much more engaging. That's the power of B-roll. B-roll helps viewers understand what you're talking about without relying only on words. People learn faster when they can both hear and see the explanation. Another advantage is that B-roll hides cuts. When you remove mistakes or long pauses from your voiceover, the video can sometimes look jumpy. Placing B-roll over those cuts makes the transition look smooth and natural. Professional creators also use B-roll to maintain attention. If the screen stays exactly the same for too long, viewers begin losing interest. Changing the visuals keeps the brain engaged. But remember, not every B-roll clip is useful. It should always match your voice. If you're talking about YouTube analytics, don't show random city footage. If you're explaining thumbnails, show thumbnails. The visuals should reinforce your message. A good rule is this: whenever you introduce a new idea, ask yourself, what can I show instead of only telling? That one question will dramatically improve your editing. Finally, don't overuse B-roll. Changing clips every second can feel distracting. Give viewers enough time to process each visual before moving to the next one. Professional editing isn't about adding more clips. It's about adding the right clips at the right time. Text is one of the most powerful editing tools on YouTube, but many beginners either use too much text or not enough. Let's understand the purpose of on-screen text. Your viewers are already listening to your voice. The text isn't there to repeat every sentence. Instead, it's there to highlight the most important information. For example, if you say, "You should upload one long-form video every week," you don't need to write the entire sentence on screen. Instead, simply display long video, week. The viewer immediately understands the key point. This makes your content easier to remember. Another great use of text is for numbers, dates, prices, and statistics. These are details that viewers often want to see while hearing them. Now let's talk about design. Keep your text large enough to read on a phone. Remember, a huge percentage of YouTube viewers watch on mobile devices. If your text is tiny, many viewers won't read it. Use 1 or 2 fonts consistently throughout the video. Constantly changing fonts makes your video feel unprofessional. Color is also important. Use high contrast so the text stands out against the background. If the background is bright, add a dark shadow or background box behind the text. Finally, avoid filling the screen with large paragraphs. People came to watch a video, not read a book. Use short phrases, keywords, or important numbers. The voice explains the idea. The text reinforces it. When used correctly, on-screen text improves understanding, retention, and the overall viewing experience. Simple, clear text is always better than flashy, complicated text. Background music is something many creators underestimate. When used correctly, viewers may not even notice it consciously, but they'll definitely feel its impact. Think about your favorite movie. Now imagine watching it without any background music. The scenes would feel empty. Music creates emotion. The same principle applies to YouTube videos. If you're teaching a tutorial, soft background music can make the video feel smoother and more enjoyable. If you're telling an exciting story, motivational or cinematic music can increase suspense and excitement. If you're reviewing an AI tool, modern textile music can match the theme perfectly. The biggest mistake beginners make is choosing music they personally like instead of music that supports the video. Remember, the music isn't the star of the show. Your content is. Another common mistake is setting the volume too high. If viewers struggle to hear your voice because of the music, they'll quickly become frustrated. Your voice should always be the main focus. The music should quietly support it. Also, try to match the mood of the music with the content. Imagine explaining a serious topic while upbeat party music is playing. It feels strange because the emotion doesn't match. Professional creators also change music between major sections of the video. For example, they may use cam music during explanations and switch to more energetic music when introducing an exciting point. This helps maintain attention without distracting the viewer. Finally, always use music that you have permission to use. Copyright issues can lead to claims, demonetization, or other problems depending on how the music is used. A simple rule to remember is this: good background music should be felt more than heard. Now let's talk about one of the smallest details that can make your videos feel much more professional: sound effects, often called SFX. Imagine you add text to the screen. Without a sound effect, it simply appears. Now imagine the same text appears with a soft pop or whoosh sound. Suddenly, it feels more alive. That's the purpose of sound effects. They give feedback to the viewer's brain. Every click, swipe, zoom, or animation feels more satisfying. Professional YouTubers use sound effects all the time, but many viewers never consciously notice them. That's because they're used naturally. For example, when a button appears on screen, you might add a click sound. When text slides into the frame, a gentle whoosh can make the animation feel smoother. When revealing an important point, a small ding can help emphasize the moment. However, beginners often make the opposite mistake. They add a sound effect to almost everything, every word, every transition, every animation. Instead of improving the video, it becomes noisy and distracting. Remember, sound effects are like seasoning in food. A little makes everything better. Too much ruins the experience. Another tip is consistency. If you use one style of sound effects throughout the video, the editing feels more polished. Randomly mixing different styles can make the video feel inconsistent. Finally, always listen to your video with headphones before exporting. Some sound effects may seem fine through speakers, but become too loud when using headphones. Balance is the key. Your viewers shouldn't think, "Wow, that's a nice sound effect." They should simply enjoy the video without even realizing why it feels so smooth. That's when you know you've used sound effects correctly. One of the first things beginners learn in editing is transitions, and unfortunately, it's also one of the first things they overuse. When someone discovers dozens of cool transition effects, they often want to use every single one: slides, spins, 3D cubes, explosions. But professional creators rarely edit this way. Let's understand why. A transition has one simple purpose: to smoothly move from one scene to another. That's it. If you're explaining one point and then moving to a completely different topic, a small fade or slide transition can help the viewer understand that a new section has begun. If you're showing that time has passed, a fade also works well. But when you're simply cutting between sentences or changing B-roll, a normal cut is usually the best choice. In fact, if you watch some of the biggest YouTubers in the world, you'll notice that most of their videos use simple cuts. Why? Because cuts are fast. They don't interrupt the flow. They let the viewer focus on the content instead of the editing. Fancy transitions should only be used when they help tell the story. For example, if you're talking about traveling from one country to another, a map transition might make sense. If you're entering a dream sequence or flashback, a creative transition can help create the right feeling. But if you're explaining how to write a YouTube title, a spinning cube transition doesn't add any value. Always ask yourself, does this transition improve the viewer's understanding? If the answer is no, don't use it. Remember, great editing is often invisible. The viewer should remember your message, not your transitions. Keep it simple. Imagine you're explaining a website. The entire screen is visible, but the button you're talking about is very small. The viewer has to search for it. This creates unnecessary effort. Now imagine the camera smoothly zooms into that button exactly when you mention it. The viewer immediately understands where to look. That's the power of keyframes. A keyframe lets you create movement inside a still image or screen recording. You don't need a moving camera. The software creates the movement for you. Professional creators use keyframes everywhere. They slowly zoom into screenshots. They pan across large images. They highlight important statistics. They focus the viewer's attention exactly where it's needed. This keeps static content from feeling boring. Another huge advantage is viewer guidance. Your audience shouldn't have to guess what's important. Your editing should show them. However, beginners often make one mistake. They animate everything. Every image zooms. Every text moves. Every second something is flying across the screen. Instead of helping the viewer, this becomes exhausting. Movement is powerful because it's used selectively. When everything moves, nothing feels important anymore. Keep your zooms smooth and slow. Avoid sudden, unnecessary movements unless you're intentionally creating excitement. Also remember that keyframes aren't only for zooming. You can move text, icons, arrows, graphics, and even entire scenes. Once you master keyframes, your videos will immediately feel more modern and professional. Small amounts of motion make videos feel alive. And alive videos keep viewers watching longer. Stock footage is one of the biggest advantages for faceless YouTube creators. You don't need an expensive camera or a professional studio to create high-quality videos. Instead, you can use ready-made video clips to support your story. For example, if you're talking about productivity, you can show someone working on a laptop. If you're discussing artificial intelligence, you can show modern technology footage. If you're explaining business growth, you might use office or city scenes. But here's the mistake many beginners make. They choose footage only because it looks cool. The clip may be beautiful, but if it doesn't match your voiceover, it confuses the viewer. Imagine saying, "This AI tool saves hours of work," while showing a beach or mountains. The visuals and the message don't match. Professional editors always ask, "Does this visual help explain what I'm saying?" If the answer is yes, use it. If not, find a better clip. Another important tip is to avoid overusing the same footage. If viewers see the exact same stock clip in every video, your content starts feeling repetitive. Mix different visuals whenever possible. You can also improve stock footage by adding your own style. Use slow zooms, text overlays, arrows, highlights, or color adjustments. This makes the footage feel unique instead of generic. Finally, always check the license before using stock footage. Many websites provide free videos, but some clips may have different usage rules. Using properly licensed footage protects your channel and keeps your content professional. Remember, stock footage is a tool, not a shortcut. When used correctly, it makes your videos richer, more engaging, and much easier to understand. Color correction is one of those editing skills that viewers often don't notice directly, but they definitely notice when it's done badly. Imagine watching a video that's too dark. You struggle to see what's happening. Or maybe the colors are so bright that everything looks fake. These small issues reduce the overall quality of the viewing experience. Color correction helps solve those problems. Its first goal is not to make the video look cinematic. Its first goal is to make the image look accurate and pleasant. Start by adjusting the brightness. If your video is too dark, increase it slightly. If it's too bright, reduce it. Next, adjust the contrast. Contrast helps separate light and dark areas, making the image look clearer. Then comes saturation. Saturation controls how colorful the image appears. Many beginners push saturation too high because it looks exciting at first, but overly saturated colors often look unrealistic and distracting. A small adjustment usually looks much more professional. Temperature is another useful setting. If your footage looks too blue, warm it slightly. If it looks too orange, cool it down. The goal is natural-looking skin tones and realistic colors. If you're using multiple clips from different sources, color correction becomes even more important. Matching the colors between clips creates a consistent viewing experience. Viewers may not consciously notice it, but the video will feel much more polished. Finally, remember that color correction is different from color grading. Correction fixes problems. Grading creates a specific artistic style. As a beginner, focus on correction first. A clean, natural-looking video will almost always outperform one that's heavily edited but unrealistic. Good editing doesn't scream for attention. After hours of editing, you're finally ready to export your video. This is the final step before uploading it to YouTube. Many beginners think exporting is just pressing one button. But the settings you choose can affect your video's quality and file size. For most YouTube videos, 1080p resolution is the best starting point. It looks sharp on phones, tablets, laptops, and TVs. If your original footage was recorded in 60 frames per second, export in 60 FPS. If it was recorded in 30 FPS, keep it at 30 FPS. Matching your original footage usually gives the smoothest result. For the file format, MP4 with the H.264 codec is the most widely supported option. It provides excellent quality while keeping the file size reasonable. Now here's something many beginners forget. Before exporting, watch your timeline from beginning to end. Look for spelling mistakes. Check that every animation appears correctly. Make sure the background music never covers your voice. Also check for accidental black screens or missing clips. After exporting, don't upload the file immediately. Open the exported video and watch it again. Sometimes small problems only appear after export. For example, an animation might not render correctly, or the audio could be slightly out of sync. Finding those mistakes before uploading can save you from deleting and re-uploading the video later. Finally, remember to save your editing project even after exporting. If you ever want to update the video or create a shorter version, you'll be glad you kept the original project. A few extra minutes of checking can protect hours of hard work. Let's finish this editing section by looking at the most common mistakes beginners make. If you avoid these mistakes, your videos will instantly look more professional. The first mistake is using too many transitions. Remember, most professional creators rely on simple cuts because they keep the viewer focused on the content. The second mistake is overusing animations. Animations should highlight important moments, not appear on every single object. Third, background music should never compete with your voice. If viewers struggle to hear you, they'll quickly lose interest. Fourth, avoid long silent gaps. If nothing is happening for several seconds, viewers may think the video has become boring or even stopped playing. Fifth, don't leave a static image on screen for too long. Refresh the visuals with B-roll, zooms, highlights, or text. Sixth, make sure your text is large enough to read on a mobile phone. Many people watch YouTube on small screens. Seventh, don't add sound effects just because you can. Every sound should support the viewer's experience. Eighth, always edit with a plan. Random editing usually leads to a messy timeline and an inconsistent video. Ninth, avoid blurry images or low-resolution footage. Even simple videos look much better with clear visuals. Finally, never ignore audience retention. Every editing decision should answer one question. Will this help keep the viewer interested? If the answer is yes, keep it. If the answer is no, remove it. One final lesson to remember is this. Great editing isn't about showing how many effects you know. It's about making the viewer enjoy the video without noticing the editing itself. Congratulations! You now know all the major parts of professional video editing. But information alone isn't enough. You also need a repeatable workflow. Professional creators don't randomly edit their videos. They follow the same process every single time. Let's review the complete workflow. First, record your voiceover and clean it by removing mistakes, unnecessary pauses, and background noise. Next, build the timeline using your voiceover as the foundation. Now add your main footage or screen recordings. After that, insert B-roll wherever the viewer needs visual support. Then add text, arrows, icons, and graphics to highlight important information. Next, use keyframes and zooms to guide the viewer's attention. Only after the visuals are complete should you add background music and sound effects. Then, perform basic color correction to make everything look clean and consistent. Finally, export the video and watch it completely before uploading. Never skip this last step. Many creators discover small mistakes only after watching the final export. The more consistently you follow this workflow, the faster you'll become. Eventually, editing will feel natural instead of overwhelming. Remember, speed comes from systems, not shortcuts. Master the process, and every future video will become easier to create. At this point, you've learned the complete editing workflow used by many successful YouTubers. Now it's time to move to another skill that can completely change your channel's performance: the thumbnail. Welcome to the Thumbnail Masterclass. You can create the best video on YouTube. You can spend hours researching, scripting, recording, and editing. But if nobody clicks on your video, none of that work matters. That's why thumbnails are so important. Think of your thumbnail as the cover of a book. People usually see the thumbnail before they watch even 1 second of your content. Your thumbnail has one job: make the viewer stop scrolling. Not explain everything. Not tell the whole story. Just make the viewer interested enough to click. Many beginners make the mistake of creating thumbnails after they've finished everything else. Professional creators often think about the thumbnail before they even start making the video. Why? Because the thumbnail influences the title, the hook, and even the video's main promise. Another important lesson is that your thumbnail and title work together. Don't repeat the exact same information in both. Instead, let them create curiosity. For example, if the title says, "How I Gained 100,000 Subscribers," the thumbnail might simply say, "My Biggest Mistake." Now the viewer becomes curious. What mistake? They click to find out. Throughout this module, you'll learn the psychology behind high-performing thumbnails. You'll discover why some thumbnails immediately grab attention while others disappear among hundreds of videos. Remember this: people don't click because your video is good. They click because they believe your video is worth watching. Your thumbnail creates that belief. Master this skill. Let's learn one of the most important concepts behind successful YouTube thumbnails: psychology. Most people think a good thumbnail is about beautiful graphics or advanced Photoshop skills. That's not true. A successful thumbnail isn't created for the designer, it's created for the viewer. Think about what happens when someone opens YouTube. They're scrolling quickly. Sometimes they look at dozens of thumbnails in less than a minute. Your thumbnail has only a second or two to grab their attention. That's why psychology matters. The first element is curiosity. People naturally want to fill information gaps. If your thumbnail creates a question in their mind, they're much more likely to click. The second element is emotion. Humans react to emotions much faster than text. A surprised face, an exciting result, or a shocking comparison immediately catches attention. Third, your subject should be obvious. The viewer shouldn't spend 5 seconds trying to figure out what's happening. They should understand the main idea almost instantly. Fourth, keep it simple. Many beginners fill their thumbnails with too much text, too many arrows, too many images, and too many colors. Instead of attracting attention, they create confusion. Finally, contrast is extremely important. Your subject should stand out clearly from the background. Bright colors against darker backgrounds, or vice versa, help important elements become more noticeable. Always remember that your thumbnail and title work together. The thumbnail starts the story. The title finishes it. Together, they create curiosity, and curiosity creates clicks. Every time you design a thumbnail, ask yourself one simple question. Would this make me stop scrolling if I had never seen this video before? If the answer is yes, you're on the right path. Now that you understand why people click, let's learn how to design a thumbnail that actually grabs attention. The first thing to think about is color. Color helps your thumbnail stand out in a crowded YouTube homepage. But using more colors doesn't make a better thumbnail. In fact, too many colors often make the design look messy. Professional creators usually stick to 2, 3, or at most 4 main colors. This creates consistency and keeps the viewer focused on the important elements. Next comes fonts. Remember that most people watch YouTube on their phones. If your text is difficult to read on a small screen, it doesn't matter how beautiful it looks on your computer. Choose bold, simple fonts that are easy to recognize. Avoid decorative or handwritten fonts because they become unreadable at smaller sizes. Now let's talk about layout. Every thumbnail should have a clear visual hierarchy. The viewer's eyes should immediately know where to look first. Usually, that's the main subject. Then comes the supporting element, followed by a short text if needed. Keep the background clean. Too many objects competing for attention reduce the impact of your design. Speaking of text, use it carefully. 2 to 5 words are usually enough. Don't try to explain the entire video inside the thumbnail. That's the title's job. Finally, before uploading, zoom out or look at your thumbnail on your phone. If the text is hard to read or the subject isn't clear, redesign it. Professional creators often spend as much time improving their thumbnail as they do editing the video. Designing a great thumbnail isn't about luck. It's a repeatable process. Let's go through it step by step. The first step is deciding the main idea. Every thumbnail should communicate one clear message. Not 5, not 10, just one. If your video is about making money with YouTube automation, don't also try to talk about editing, AI tools, thumbnails, and SEO in the same thumbnail. Choose one focus. The second step is selecting a strong subject. This could be a person's face, an AI logo, a phone, a graph, or even a YouTube play button. Whatever you choose, make it large enough to dominate the thumbnail. The third step is removing distractions. Professional thumbnails often look simple because they intentionally remove unnecessary elements. If an object doesn't help tell the story, delete it. Now comes the most important step: creating curiosity. Curiosity is the reason people stop scrolling. Instead of revealing everything, hint at something valuable. For example, writing "big mistake" makes people wonder what the mistake is. Or showing $0 or $1,000 makes them curious about the journey. But never use misleading clickbait. Your video must deliver exactly what your thumbnail promises. Finally, always test your thumbnail on a mobile screen. Remember, most viewers will first see it on a phone. If the text is unreadable or the subject is unclear, redesign it. Professional creators rarely settle for the first version. They improve it until it's impossible to ignore, because they understand one simple truth: better thumbnails don't guarantee success. Let's finish the thumbnail masterclass by looking at the biggest mistakes beginners make. The first mistake is adding too much text. Remember, people don't have time to read a paragraph while scrolling. Use only a few powerful words. The second mistake is adding too many objects. If your thumbnail has 10 different elements fighting for attention, viewers won't know where to look. The third mistake is poor contrast. If your subject blends into the background, it won't stand out. Use colors that separate the subject from the background. Fourth, never use blurry or low-quality images. A professional thumbnail starts with high-quality visuals. The fifth mistake is misleading clickbait. Clickbait might earn a click once, but if the video doesn't deliver, viewers leave quickly. That hurts audience retention and reduces trust. Another mistake is copying successful creators exactly. It's fine to study them and learn from them, but don't become a clone. Develop your own recognizable style over time. Many beginners also forget about mobile viewers. Always preview your thumbnail on a small screen before uploading. If it isn't readable there, it's not ready. Finally, make sure your thumbnail and title work together. They should tell one complete story, not two unrelated ones. Before every upload, ask yourself 5 questions. Is the subject clear? Can people read the text? Does it create curiosity? Does it match the title? And most importantly, would I click this if I saw it among 20 other videos? If the answer is yes, you've created a strong thumbnail. Remember, the thumbnail is the invitation. Your video is the experience. Make sure both are equally great. A title is just as important as your thumbnail. Think of them as a team. The thumbnail catches the viewer's eyes. The title answers their question. Together, they create the click. Many beginners either make their titles too short or too long. Some write titles that don't explain anything. Others try to include every keyword they can think of. Neither approach works well. A good title should make one clear promise. Tell viewers what they'll learn, achieve, or discover. One of the easiest title formulas is how to. People love learning new skills. Another powerful formula is highlighting mistakes because viewers naturally want to avoid failure. Numbers also work well because they make information feel organized and easy to consume. Result-based titles show the outcome before the viewer even clicks. For example, how I reached 100,000 views in 30 days. This immediately creates curiosity. Finally, curiosity-based titles invite viewers to discover the ending themselves. But be careful. Curiosity should never become misleading clickbait. Your title must accurately represent the content of your video. Another important tip is placing your main keyword near the beginning of the title. This helps viewers quickly understand the topic. It can also help with search visibility. Before publishing your video, read your title aloud and ask yourself, if I saw this title with my thumbnail, would I feel curious enough to click? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. Great titles don't trick people. They clearly communicate value while creating just enough curiosity to encourage the click. Now let's talk about one of the most misunderstood topics on YouTube, SEO. Many beginners think SEO alone can make a video go viral. That's not true. SEO helps YouTube understand your video, but your content determines whether people actually enjoy watching it. Let's start with the description. Your description should briefly explain what the video is about. Naturally include your main keyword, but don't repeat it excessively. Write for humans first, search engine second. If you have useful resources, social media links, or timestamps, you can also include them in the description. Next are tags. Years ago, tags were much more important than they are today. Now their role is relatively small. However, adding a few relevant tags can still help YouTube better understand your topic. Only use tags that are directly related to your video. Never add trending but unrelated keywords just to get more views. That usually doesn't help and can confuse YouTube about your content. Now let's discuss hashtags. Use 2 or 3 hashtags that accurately describe your topic. More isn't always better. Relevant hashtags are much more useful than dozens of random ones. Finally, remember that SEO works best when everything is consistent. Your title, thumbnail, description, and video should all communicate the same topic. This gives YouTube clear signals about who might enjoy your content. One last thing. Don't spend hours obsessing over tags. Spend that time improving your thumbnail, your hook, and your editing. Those usually have a much bigger impact on your video's performance. SEO helps people find your video. Great content gives them a reason to keep watching. Many creators think their job is finished after exporting the video. In reality, there's one more important step: the upload process. A professional upload can improve both the viewer's experience and your channel's overall performance. Let's begin with playlists. Every video should belong to the most relevant playlist. This helps YouTube understand your content and encourages viewers to watch multiple videos in a row. Next comes the thumbnail. Double check that you've uploaded the correct version. Sometimes creators accidentally upload an older thumbnail or forget to upload one at all. Now let's talk about subtitles. Many viewers watch YouTube without sound, especially on mobile devices. Subtitles make your videos easier to follow and can also improve accessibility for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. The next feature is the end screen. This is one of the easiest ways to increase session time. Instead of letting viewers leave after one video, recommend another relevant video or playlist. You can also add a subscribe button. Cards are another useful feature. Place them naturally when you mention another topic or previous video. Don't interrupt the viewer. Help them discover more useful content. If possible, schedule your upload instead of publishing immediately. This allows you to prepare everything calmly and release your video when your audience is most active. Finally, review everything one last time. Check the title. Check the thumbnail. Check the description. Check the end screen. One small mistake can reduce your video's performance. Professional creators don't rush. Congratulations! You've reached one of the most powerful parts of YouTube automation: analytics. Many beginners ignore analytics because they think numbers are confusing. Professional creators do the opposite. They use analytics to improve every future video. Let's start with views. Views tell you how many people watched your content. But views alone don't tell the whole story. Next is click-through rate, or CTR. This shows how many people clicked your video after seeing the thumbnail and title. If your CTR is low, your packaging may need improvement. That doesn't always mean the video itself is bad. Now let's look at average view duration. This tells you how long people stay on your video. Generally, the longer viewers watch, the better. Audience retention goes even deeper. It shows exactly where viewers lose interest. If many viewers leave at the same moment, go back and watch that section. Ask yourself, was it too slow? Too confusing? Did the visuals stop changing? These insights help you improve future videos. Finally, look at subscribers gained. Some videos don't get millions of views, but attract highly loyal subscribers. Those videos are extremely valuable for long-term growth. The biggest mistake beginners make is taking analytics personally. Instead of feeling disappointed, treat every upload like an experiment. Every graph tells a story. Every number teaches a lesson. Professional YouTubers don't simply upload more videos. They study what worked, fix what didn't, and become better with every upload. Remember this. Emotion says, my video failed. Analytics says, here's how to make the next one better. That's the mindset of successful creators. One of the biggest differences between successful YouTubers and beginners is that professionals don't just think about getting clicks. They think about keeping viewers watching. That's exactly what audience retention measures. Imagine two videos. Both receive 1,000 clicks. In the first video, most viewers leave after 30 seconds. In the second video, viewers watch for 8 minutes. Which video do you think YouTube will recommend more? Usually the second one, because viewers stayed longer. This tells YouTube that people found the content valuable. Now let's look at why viewers leave. The biggest reason is a weak beginning. If your first 30 seconds are boring, many viewers will never reach the best part of your video. Another common problem is a long introduction. Viewers clicked for the topic, not for a 1-minute logo animation or unnecessary greetings. Get to the point quickly. Slow pacing is another reason people leave. If you repeat the same idea multiple times or pause too often, viewers become impatient. Visual variety also matters. A static screen for a long time can reduce attention. Use B-roll, zooms, text, graphics, or screen recordings to keep the video visually engaging. One technique professional creators use is the open loop. This means teasing something interesting that will be explained later in the video. For example, stay until the end because I'll show you the biggest mistake beginners make. This creates curiosity and encourages viewers to continue watching. Finally, ask yourself one question while editing. If I were the viewer, would I continue watching this part? If the answer is no, improve it or remove it. Remember, YouTube doesn't reward long videos. It rewards videos that people actually watch. Every successful YouTuber has uploaded videos that performed poorly. The difference is that they didn't stop, they learned. Let's look at the most common reasons videos fail. If your CTR is low, people aren't clicking. That usually means your thumbnail or title needs improvement. If your audience retention is low, people are clicking, but leaving too early. This often points to a weak hook, slow pacing, or poor editing. If your video receives very few impressions, YouTube may not yet understand who the right audience is, or your topic may not have strong demand. Researching better topics can help. If people watch your videos but don't subscribe, ask yourself, did I give them a reason to come back? Consistently delivering value and inviting viewers to subscribe naturally can improve this. Another mistake is blaming the algorithm for everything. The algorithm isn't your enemy. Its goal is to recommend videos that viewers enjoy. If viewers love your content, YouTube has a reason to recommend it. This is why successful creators focus on improvement instead of excuses. After every upload, review your analytics. Find one thing that didn't perform well. Then make that one thing better in your next video. Don't try to fix everything at once. Improve one skill at a time. Over months, those small improvements become massive progress. Remember this simple cycle: create, analyze, improve, repeat. That cycle has built thousands of successful YouTube channels. It can build yours too. The creators who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. Reaching your first 1,000 subscribers is one of the biggest milestones on YouTube. Most creators think it happens because of one lucky viral video. In reality, it's usually the result of consistency and continuous improvement. Start by choosing one niche and stick with it. This helps YouTube understand your channel and attract the right audience. Next, upload consistently. You don't need to upload every day. It's better to upload one high-quality video every week than several rushed videos. After every upload, study your analytics. See what worked and what didn't. Then improve your next video based on that information. Over time, these small improvements create massive results. Remember, subscribers come because people trust your content. Focus on helping viewers, and growth will follow. You now have the knowledge to build a YouTube automation channel, but knowledge only becomes valuable when you take action. Here's a simple 30-day plan. During the first week, choose your niche, create your channel, and research at least 20 video ideas. In the second week, write your scripts and record your voiceovers. In the third week, edit your videos and create eye-catching thumbnails. In the fourth week, upload your videos, study the analytics, and identify one thing to improve. Don't wait until everything feels perfect. Your first videos won't be perfect, and that's completely normal. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. Take action every day, stay consistent, and keep improving. That's how successful YouTube channels are built. We've finally reached the end of this masterclass, and before we finish, I want to show you the complete roadmap one last time. When you first started this course, YouTube automation may have seemed complicated. There were so many things to learn. finding a niche, researching ideas, writing scripts, recording voiceovers, editing videos, creating thumbnails, understanding SEO, and reading analytics. But now, notice something. Everything follows one simple system. First, choose a niche that you genuinely want to build. Don't jump between different topics every week, because consistency helps both your audience and YouTube understand your content. Next, research video ideas. Never upload random videos just because you ran out of ideas. Good research saves hours of work and greatly increases your chances of success. After that, write a script. A great script keeps viewers engaged before editing even begins. Then record a clear voiceover. People will forgive average visuals before they forgive poor audio. Once your voiceover is ready, edit the video by adding visuals, B-roll, text, music, and sound effects, where they actually improve the viewer's experience. Then create a thumbnail that makes people stop scrolling and a title that makes them curious enough to click. Finally, upload the video, study the analytics, and improve your next upload based on real data. This is the cycle that almost every successful YouTube creator follows. Don't expect perfection from your first upload. Your first goal isn't to become famous. Your first goal is to become better than you were yesterday. If you repeat this roadmap again and again, every new video will be stronger than the last one. Remember, YouTube rewards creators who continue learning and improving, not creators who quit after a few disappointing uploads. Thanks for watching the full course. I hope you will succeed one day. Bye.